Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to the championship race for Season 4 of the Dega Pros Little Guys Series live tonight on PGR eSports. My name is Dawson Wise, coming at you to bring you 100 laps of action tonight in the Little Guys Series as 19 of the championship drivers battle it out for a winner-take-all payout. We'll talk more about that in a second. Before we go any further, I want to introduce my co-host for the night here up in the broadcast booth with me, as always, as he has been all season. Back with me tonight for the championship race is Matthew Baker. And Baker, 50 laps longer tonight, 100% fuel, a lot different strategy going to come into play here in this one to determine a champion.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to see a lot of pit stops. Reminiscent of the first race that we had here, we had a ton of pit stops or green flag laps. Got 100 laps here. I think we're going to see a lot of good green flag racing between all 20 of these trucks that are going to take the grid tonight. And we're crowning ourselves another Dega Pros Little Guys Series champion.
Well, there is going to be one truck not in the field from what I understand. Talking to some people pre-race, Thomas Parker, I don't believe is going to make the grid tonight. So unfortunate end to his season if that is the case. Still not showing up in the session. So it will be a total of 19 here for the championship race. The big thing tonight going to be team racing, as several teams have multiple drivers. It's 4 for KSR with Carruthers and Ray and Based, as well as, and I'm blanking on the last KSR truck in this field tonight for some reason, but I'll stumble back upon it here in just a moment. Trevor Osborne is the 4th KSR truck. You have 4 McCullough Motorsports trucks with Sheets and Morris and Austin Green and Mark Vondell. You have, I believe, 4 PGR trucks as well with Mike Davenport, Nash Brambilla, Tyler Vickery, and Brock Westmoreland. So team racing going to be the secret, I believe, too, tonight. But in the end, only one man can be called champion. And as qualifying comes to an end, we're about to find out who that man is going to be. Again, 100 laps, strap in. It's going to be a long night, but we are going to take you through all of the action here from Talladega as the drivers start to get on the grid. No fast repair tonight. Everything is still the same except for 100% fuel tank available to these drivers tonight, so that is a little bit different. They'll obviously be able to go about 30 laps on fuel, so it still will be about a 3 pit stop race, but over the course of 3 pit stops with 100% fuel rather than 50%. Still no fast repair in the field tonight, so you got to make your truck last. And man, I'll tell you, Baker, I've been in these long races before we get to the starting grid here just quickly. I've been in these long races before, especially with no fast repair. Tough ass to try to hold your truck till the end of one of these super speedway races. Yeah,
absolutely. It's a tough ask, like you're saying, for all these guys to try and keep their truck clean for 100 laps. But we call them the little guys, but they still race like they're big dogs. These guys are really, really good. You have a lot of good team racing that happens in these, and I think you're gonna see a nice, clean race here tonight.
Well, we'll get into the starting grid with that being said, and on the pole. What a good lap for the man who has been in this series longer than anyone in the field here tonight. He's been here since Season 1. He's in the championship again, the winningest driver in the history of the Little Guys Series. It's Dustin Carruthers for KSR. He runs a 55.465 to jump on pole position. To his outside will be a pretty familiar truck because it's his teammate, Trevor Osborne, the 89. He runs 8,000 slower. Row 2, Hyper Motorsports entry, Heath Job in the 760, and another KSR truck, that's Devin Ray. He'll start from the outside of row number 2. Row 3, the final KSR truck in the field tonight, Ryan Baste. He'll start from 5th. Richard Elliott, he'll start from 6th in the 02. Row 4, David Sheets of McCullough Motorsports in the 1. Danny Barnes of Hyper in the 7. He'll start 8th. Rounding out the top 10, it'll be Ron Morris in the 76, and Mike Davenport in the 55 for Team PGR.
Rounding out your 19 truck field tonight, you got Zach Range in 11th, Cole Fitzpatrick in 12th. He's the last one to put the time down. Austin Green, first one not to put a time down. These two heavy hitters right here, Austin Green, Logan York, I think they're going to be up front and trying to dominate this entire race. You'll see Austin and Logan coming out from 13th and 14th. 15th got J.R. Miller. 16th, Brock Westmoreland, Tyler Vickery, and 17th, Mark Vondell. 18th, and rounding out your 19 truck field is Nash Brambilla.
So 19 have made the trip, 19 ready to go at it, and like I said at the top of the show, it is a winner-take-all payout tonight of $370. So the winner gets all the pot. Everybody else goes home empty-handed here tonight. A bit interesting. There is one added bonus, lap 49 coming to lap 50. So when the leader takes lap 50 and puts the halfway lap on the board, they will receive, I believe, a $20 bonus courtesy of PGR eSports. So a bonus coming out tonight, 49 to 50. We'll remind you of that about the halfway point of the race. But a winner-take-all payout means that it's all on the line tonight. No other payouts here for second through fifth, so even second and third like we've had all season. It is all for one position, and man, if that doesn't make the stakes any higher for a championship race, I'm not sure what does. As we still await these guys to roll off the grid. Not sure what's going on, but they have yet to roll off the grid. A very long grid time here tonight, but nonetheless, we are waiting it out. But like I was saying, one spot pays, and this is something that doesn't happen very often in this thing we like to do. You don't often see only one spot pay. You don't often see only one spot have any kind of reward. And now for tonight, it raises the stakes even more because, again, 18 trucks tonight are going home empty-handed. A very, very rare sight in money racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Very rare sight indeed. But I think it's going to come down to that last lap like we talked about. And I think it's going to just be a barn burner in the last probably 15 to 20 laps.
We wait a few more trucks to get on the grid, and then we'll get rolling. Again, not really sure what's going on with this long grid. This is the longest grid time I think I've ever seen. It's a very long grid tonight for some reason. We get all the way through the starting grid. Usually they've rolled off. They're halfway down the backstretch by now, but tonight we still await the trucks to jump on the grid. And we do have 100 laps tonight. Like I said, 100% fuel, and which means the range tonight of the fuel is going to be about 30 laps. That tends to be what we see in these trucks at 100% capacity. So still expect some strategy. Still expect some guys to go off cycle and try to potentially break off from the pack, try to make their own strategy. A couple of these teams in here, KSR, McCullough, PGR, expect them to go off cycle and try to do their own thing as the race gets going tonight. I appreciate everyone for coming out and watching. Share the link while you're at it. It's Little Guy Night in America here on a Monday, the last one of Season 4. And we appreciate those of you who have come out for every race this season. If you haven't come out for every race this season, you picked a good one to come to as we crown a champion tonight. Who will join the ranks of King of the Little Guys? Season 1, Michael Triscaro was the man to come out on top of the Little Guys series. Josh McCullough had a dominant Season 2. He won that championship. And last season, what a barn burner that race was. BAR was able to drive by the field, and Justin Mills was crowned Season 3 champion a season ago. Tonight, a fourth man joins them, and we're going to find out who that is going to be. I believe we're finally about to roll off the grid here at Talladega, and we do. And we are rolling. One race to go, Season 4 of the Little Guys series, and it gets started here in just a moment live on PGR eSports. If you don't mind, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to grow this platform, and we'd love to have you here along for the ride. A lot of great stuff coming in the coming weeks here on PGR eSports, from the Tuesday Night Thunder series. It comes back tomorrow to the Thursday Night Intimidator Super Speedway series, which has some special events going on here in the coming weeks, to the bigger events that are going to be coming up later, as well as the upcoming Friday night slate, which we'll get to in a little bit as well. A lot of big things going on over here. We'd love to have you along for the ride. The field is rolling. I will say, and I did not look at this before the race started, this looks oddly like the race start when we went green and ended up going dark. I don't think that's going to be an issue tonight, but I did not get to check it. Actually, we can go ahead and check it right now.
Looks like we're frozen in time.
Okay,
so
well,
that's
good.
Okay.
We're not going to have that problem again. If you missed that race, it started at about 6:30 sim time, and it got dark about halfway through the race. It ended up having to be called with 10 to go. One of the wildest sequences of racing I have seen, those guys trying to navigate the dark, even as we couldn't see where the trucks were. But tonight, not going to be an issue as we get ready to go green. Happy race week at Talladega, ironically enough. All the series, I believe, go to Talladega this week, which is ironic that all of our series go to Talladega this week because it is NASCAR Talladega week as well. So happy race week on that part as well. And we're going to start the week off in style at Talladega with 100 laps here in the Craftsman trucks as we crown a Little Guys Series champion. Off turn 4 for the first time, the KSR duo of Carruthers and Osbornoth will bring us to the green flag and officially put us under the green and into the 100 laps of chaos, twists, and turns until we crown a champion. Pace truck is down, field in the hands of Dustin Carruthers. He's a 5-time winner in this series. Can he get his 6th and win a championship here tonight? We'll have to wait and find out. Into the restart zone for the first time come the leaders. We are going to get this one underway in style. Green flag, we are racing in the Little Guys Series championship race. Lap 1 complete, lap 2 on the board, 99 to go here at Talladega. It's clean and green. You saw on the start that Zach Range made some contact with Ron Morris. Ron Morris, I believe, has lost the draft. He's losing time quickly here on lap number 2. So a really unfortunate break for Ron Morris Jr. here early in this championship race. We'll have to see if he can get back into this one. But up front, so far, it's all KSR, and they are flexing some muscle here off into turn number 3. Devin Ray goes to the lead in 3 and 4.
Devin Ray getting pushed by Richard Elliott. They're the only VAR truck in the field tonight. Trevor Osmanoff there on the bottom with his teammate Dustin Carruthers. Like you said, KSR flexing that muscle early. You know, not many trucks out here, so you're not going to see much 3-wide action. We'll see it towards the end, but you'll see a lot of people sorting out. You see Ray drop to the bottom there. You see people riding back, saving fuel, 100 laps full fuel. You can save quite a bit of fuel, and that's going to help you on these pit stops. Get shorter pit stops and get off pit road.
There will be some questions about the cycle as to when guys decide to come to pit road. There'll be some different strategies, I'm sure, as teams try to break the cycle and get to pit road first, potentially take advantage of some track position. We'll have to wait and see on that. All 3 KSR trucks here at the front, actually all 4 on the bottom. They are 1, 2, 3, 5 down there on the bottom of the racetrack. 5 trucks up top. That's Richard Elliott, Danny Barnes, Mike Davenport, Zach Range, Cole Fitzpatrick are the 5 up along the second lane, but they are losing ground and losing it quickly as 2 of the KSR trucks pull forward. And it is Devin Ray, the Monster Energy Chevrolet, that pulls out to the lead. Lap 3 off, lap 4 on. They're ticking by quickly. Here comes Richard Elliott, another surge. Danny Barnes shoving him to the front. Some field heads and climbs the banking here in the 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, we got a little bit of break in the action. It's just too wide, chilling up here. I think it's a good time to talk about this Tuesday coming up with Ron Morris's league. I know you talked about it a little earlier, but second week going out to Talladega. We'll be in the Xfinity cars, what we run for the league, but we'd love to see some more people out there. Good group of guys right now. We kind of call it the all-star race. Some of the best super speedway drivers that love racing for points. It's a lot of fun. The stage finishes have been fun. The race finishes have been fun. I know I didn't enjoy my finish last week, but I was still having a ball for sure. So definitely want guys out there on Tuesdays. And also some news for us. Fridays, PGR is going to start running our Friday night super speedway races, try and test the waters out, see what kind of numbers we can pull in. I think we can still pull a good amount of people in, and we'll be in the Xfinity cars for that one.
A lot of fun stuff coming up here over the course of the next few days. This Thursday, a special one from Talladega in the Intimidator Super Speedway Series as the next-gen cars get a run in PGR Thursdays for the first time since February. That's going to be a lot of fun as we commemorate the Cup race weekend at Talladega in the real NASCAR Cup Series. We'll go racing in the next-gens on Thursday night, and then Friday, I believe we are in the Xfinity Series cars. Longer race, a very long race compared to what we're used to for PGR events. That will be in the Xfinity Series car on Friday night. Both races live here on PGR eSports, so go check those out. I believe Austin will have the call for you on both of those as I'll be out of town this weekend, but make sure to join those guys up in the booth on Thursday and on Friday as we test some more things out here at PGR eSports. And, well, these guys aren't testing much stuff out here at the front as, well, right as I say that, they jump back out of line. This is Heath Job, Zach Range, Danny Barnes, Mike Davenport, Logan York. They're all out of line. Job trying to come to the front, staying with range. They were all single file for a brief moment. They all got to the bottom of the racetrack, but now a couple guys testing the waters. Here comes Heath Job. He wants to go forward. He's got his teammate not far behind him. Danny Barnes coming to the front as well as Elliott leads off forward. Here comes Job.
Well, the thing is, I think the only amount of fuel you really need to save, let's see, I think it's a 33-lap tank, a 32-lap tank. So you probably have to save more like 31. You have to save about 3 laps, maybe 4 laps total over these runs that these guys make this a green flag run. And you can definitely do that on these bigger fuel tanks, these full fuel tanks. So I think that's what you're seeing towards the back here is all the PGR boys, J.R. Miller, Brock Westmoreland, Tyler Vickery back here just saving fuel. Mike Davenport making moves, trying to get up towards the front, but see them back there buying their time, saving fuel. It's only 19 trucks. It's a lot easier to get to the front in these races, compared to Thursday night where we have 40-plus trucks. Not to say that these guys aren't easier to pass. It's just less trucks to pass, and at a super speedway, less trucks is a lot better.
Well, certainly more room to work, more real estate to work with. And Heath Job, man, he took advantage of that, goes all the way to the front. Now Zach Range will take his turn in front of the field. He'll get clear into one. I believe he'll drop down and cycle to the lead. He will. Now it leaves Danny Barnes, Cole Fitzpatrick, Logan York, Mike Davenport as the trucks up on the outside line. Both hyper trucks now have cycled to the front of the field. Fitzpatrick is trying to follow them in the 9, as well as Logan York, one of our race winners this season, in the 0-1. Back in the familiar 0-1, the blue and black Ford F-150 that we're so used to him running. He's back in it tonight. Familiar colors aboard his truck as he is third on the outside line. And then Davenport back there in the 55. He is fourth on the outside line. As we come off, it's more racing than we did last season in the championship race. You'll remember back to that race, it was single file. Most of those 100 laps, I feel like, were run single file in that race. It came down ultimately to who had the best pit strategy. And in the end, BAR, a daring move to the outside, a nice team-coordinated move to win Justin Mills the championship at the end of that one last season. I imagine we'll see something similar this season. New leader in 1 and 2, it is Danny Barnes. Is off turn 2. Here comes Cole Fitzpatrick. He wants to turn at the lead down the Alabama Gang Super Stretch.
Yeah, just 2 cars there on the top lane. Everyone's kind of separated out. We talked about that, save that fuel. Richard Elliott letting Mike Davenport in line. He gained a few spots. But everyone just really keeping their spacing, saving their truck with no fast repair. We love clean racing, but we also like exciting racing. And I think that'll be coming up whenever you see the pit stops. You're not seeing any strategy right there. I was looking for maybe a short pit, really early short pit by one of these groups to try and get away. But the teams don't have enough numbers, I don't think. I think, KSR has 3-4 trucks. McCullough Motorsports only has 2 trucks right now in the lead draft, 3 total. They'll be catching Ron Morris. He's just going down the backstretch right now. Richard Elliott's the only solo driver right here. Actually, KSR has 4 trucks. I think they're the only group that really could make a good push. Also, PGR with 4 trucks. I think those 2 teams could make a good push to separate themselves and try and drive away with 4 trucks. But no differing fuel strategies right now. I think the strategy right now on this first stop is just get as much as you can out of the tank on this first run.
Certainly what it looks to be. There's a separation here at the front, about 4/10 separating Mike Davenport from Richard Elliott. You see that long line of trucks along the yellow line. They're making about 8-10 truck lengths off the back of our front 6, who are really pushing the pace. And actually, that went up again. It's 4.5 here into 1. Not sure what's going on there, but this front 6 is starting to slowly drive away Richard Elliott. I think they've realized it now. They're starting to pull back up, as I'm not sure they were saving a lot of fuel there, but from Richard Elliott on back, perhaps that is the case. These guys up front, though, no indication that they're saving. Zach Raines certainly is not able to stay going back and forth between lanes. The 043 continues to lead, but Fitzpatrick holds strong and got one of the best pushers in the field behind him in Logan York. Ben, these guys are duking it out while everybody from 7th on back relaxing and saying, nope, I don't want any part of that. I'm going to stay right back here and save my truck.
Yeah, they just know one offset push. As you see Cole Fitzpatrick get clear to the lead, Logan York pushes him to the lead. That's going to be our 5th different leader here in the last 12 laps. Pretty impressive for being single file racing, but they still have been mixing it up, having some leader changes. Ron Morris going to tuck back down in line. going to try and pull a draft off of here. Maybe you see some of the McCullough Motorsports guys pull off, help him out. He'll be there for his teammates at the end if this goes green, and he'll be on the same field strategy as these guys for sure.
I was just going to say it's important for him to get back on strategy, important for him to be with his teammates in the case that he has to help them, but also now that he's in the lead draft, can absolutely take advantage of a caution flag should one come out at any point during this race. But like you said, he'll be there for his teammates. Ultimately, if that has to be what he has to do, he will be there for his teammates in the end by catching the lead draft. Still Range and Fitzpatrick side by side, but the McCullough contingent is up on the outside line now. I don't know if they have any intention of coming forward, but they might do it unintentionally here as they have taken some free real estate up on the top side. And look at Mike Davenport. He saw him coming, but now jumps back down in line fourth. Good spot for Davenport right now. As Fitzpatrick, I'll tell you, the 9 has been very aggressive so far, possibly the most aggressive truck on track. He and Zach Range both have been very aggressive early in the going, probably more aggressive than any truck in the field. They're the only two now too wide, but here comes McCullough Motorsports, and they got a big head of steam on the outside. Cavalry's coming for York and Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I think that what they're trying to do is just get the lap back the hard way for Ron Morris Jr. here. Put him in a spot to put him on the lead lap in front of all these guys. Should a caution come out, he doesn't have to worry about the lucky dog. He will already be on that lead lap. Won't have to really lose any track position. He'll just come around pit instead of just dropping to the end as a lucky dog. So definitely a good play there. You saw Austin Green pull in line. He saw all the track position that he gained. Didn't see any further progress that he was going to make. We see Ron Morris Jr. get to the back of Logan York here, and this outside is going to roll just a little bit.
About halfway through our first run, almost an offset push, man. Ron Morris, that was dangerous territory right there off of 2. As they stacked up on the outside line, and Morris had to back way out of it. That was almost disaster for Ron Morris trying to get his lap back and almost caused an incident there at the front of the field. Now we'll back off. Might drop down in line. Nope, going to hang up with David Sheets on the outside, so they're going to hang out on the top side of the racetrack, take that real estate again, and go up here, try to help York and Fitzpatrick. And we've kind of settled out halfway through this first fuel run. First 4 in each row, double file. From there on back, it is single file. A couple pretty decent-sized gaps, about 4/10 from Carruthers to base, the 2 KSR teammates. And then a little bit more of a gap further back as well as guys start to save fuel and start to save their trucks for this first pit stop. And as we saw last season, as we saw in the first race in this season, that first pit stop could really determine a lot. Ron Morris is going to turn York at the front of the field. They all save it. Man, where was Ron Morris going right there? Trying to fit in a gap perhaps between the 9 and the 0-1.
Yeah, I think he's just frustrated after the start to the race. He's going to pull out, go all the way to the back, trying to get his lap back the hard way. Totally understand it, but don't want to ruin the leader's race. You got 100 laps. You know there's going to be caution. It's a winner-take-all race, so watch him drop to the back here and just bide his time to these pit stops.
And we're about 15 laps short of those pit stops. Again, about halfway through this first run of the race. And you can tell who wants to be aggressive early, who wants to have that early track position, and who is not really sweating it. In terms of guys that want to be up here, Logan York, Zach Range, Heath Job, Danny Barnes, Cole Fitzpatrick, Mike Davenport. Other than that, guys like Elliott, Sheets, Green, Ray, all the KSR trucks, as well as the PGR trucks. I mean, they don't really see any need to be up front. And honestly, after that close call, I don't think I blame them. Riding about 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th in line is probably the smarter place to be. Give yourself plenty of time in case something like that does happen again. Logan York, he is props to him. He's hanging tough. He's playing pest up on the outside line, trying to side draft his way forward. And I tell you, for not having a drafting partner, doing a pretty good job. Still even with second place Zach Range. Here's the field climbs the banking once again. Yeah,
Richard Elliott, big check up there on the bottom, goes to the outside line. I just think that Range is really, oh man, Logan York is side drafting the absolute piss out of him out of turn 2. But all 3 of those guys up front are in a Discord together. They're going to race each other tight, but they're when it comes down to it, I think they're all going to work together here towards the end. 3 of the most loose cannon guys here in this 19 truck field are all up front, and it's good to see.
Well, 3 of the most aggressive in the field, so I guess that explains why they would be up here. And nobody else really trying to go to the front right now, so no surprise these guys said, all right, well, I'll go up there. I'll run some laps up front, get myself up front of the field, get myself some screen time, and run out front and kind of control the pace of the race, control potentially when these pit stops begin here in about 10 laps or so is when the window theoretically would open, if you want to say it that way, is in about 12 laps. Richard Elliott has jumped up to help Logan York. Now they'll need probably one more if they want to clear down, although York's going to get awfully close here in a 3, but not quite. Still be dead even here in 3, and York says, I'm tired of hanging up top. I'm going to jump out. I'm going to go all the way to the back. He's going to go find himself a spot in line, and or perhaps was that the old 2011 tandem switch move there into 3 and 4? I haven't seen that in a long time. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looks like he's trying to get back to the back bumper, Richard Elliott, and Logan York is going to push him clear if Zach Range is hot on temps. Like we said, he's one of the best pushers. Maybe really aggressive, maybe a loose cannon. Oh, Zach Range jumps to the top. I think that was a real early move to do that. It's going to cause Richard Elliott to check up. Now there's 3 trucks on that outside line. Right before Danny Barnes gets to the back bumper of Cole Fitzpatrick, Zach Range is going to clear down to the bottom. Richard Elliott's going to have a huge push here. He's got about half a truck till he's clear. Range jumps to the bottom.
Range pinned him up there. Elliott thought he was going to get clear, perhaps would have. He might have gotten at least 2, if not all 3 of those trucks clear. They had a big run all the way down the backstretch. Oh, man. Close call there. Elliott almost into the right rear of Zach Range. That would have been disaster here at the front of the field, but nonetheless, perhaps some frustration there from Richard Elliott, getting right down on the quarter panel. Now, I believe he might get clear here in the tri-oval.
Oh, there's some pit stops.
And pit stops underway. It's the PGR crew. Mike Davenport, Brock Westmoreland, JR Miller, Nash Brambilla, and Tyler Vickery. The first 5 to come to pit road. And it's way earlier than I anticipated. Lap 20. A little bit earlier than perhaps they needed to pit. Not sure what the thinking is here on the PGR crew.
You know, I think they're thinking 30 laps a tank, really, roughly 31, 32 a tank. They don't think they can save enough, so they're going to go right on the number and split it 30, 30, 30. That way they got 10 laps to the end, give themselves some green, white, checkered fuel, and try and get away from these boys. I mean, that's 5 trucks right there. If these front guys don't run a good pace, if Cole Fitzpatrick and Danny Barnes don't get to the back bumper or Zach Range quick, and there's no pit stops early, this is going to be a runaway for PGR.
Big push outside lane. It's Logan York with Austin Green, our regular season champion from a week ago, and Richard Elliott, and they are flying to the front. They're going to get there, and they're going to surpass those trucks. David Sheets jumps up. Perhaps does KSR start to think about a move here? Logan York to the lead at Talladega. He goes to the bottom. Austin Green says, I did my job. I'm going to jump out of line. I'm going to go back there. I'm going to go back to the help of my teammates, and I'm going to try to get back up and forward with York now leading the race. Austin Green will jump in. You hear the PGR trucks just in front of the leaders. They have made their pit stops. Now we await the rest of the field. PGR, again, I'm not surprised. They go off cycle. It seems like every week they go off cycle again tonight. If they can get hooked up, and these guys continue to kind of lax the pace a little bit. I mean, they're not pushing very hard up front. If they can continue to do that, PGR, like you said, might be in a pretty good spot with none of these guys again coming to pit road this time by either on lap 21.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing right now is Mike Davenport looked like he had a penalty on pit road, so there's only 4 trucks. It would have had 5 trucks. If they had 5 trucks, I think it would have been a right, but with 4 trucks, it's going to be tough. They're still pulling this front pack, that's for sure. I think there's going to be some pit stops, probably around lap 30, I would assume, for this front pack, but you'll maybe see KSR try and go off cycle as well.
Davenport already 1 lap down, will likely go 2 laps down as a result of the penalty, so we'll await and see where Davenport cycles out in all of this. So potentially an early unfortunate. And here comes KSR. Ray Osbernoth Carruthers based in line. Train is rolling up on the outside line, and it's led by Devin Ray. And my goodness, look at the surge they've got off turn number 4. These guys are flying. And here we go. Devin Ray to lead. Osbernoth will go to second. Carruthers will go to third. And they're going to be able to pull at least several of their trucks. In fact, they may be able to split here because they've got help coming. David Sheets and Austin Green, are they all 4 going to get clear? Yes, they are. Strong move by KSR. They go all the way to the lead in 1.
KSR trains it to the top. David Sheets going to stay up top, try and keep Austin Green. But if I'm David Sheets, I'm parking it in line. He's not going to be able to. Logan York's going to get to his inside. KSR's got 4 trucks out front. I mean, you just see the difference of what 4 teammates pushing in line as opposed to Zach Range, Cole Fitzpatrick, and Logan York. Yes, they may be in a Discord together, but they don't work together normally. These 4 trucks up here, as you see, more teammates up top. They know how to push. They know how to draft. David Sheets, Austin Green getting pushed up. I think Rob Morris, his damage is hurting him just a little bit. So if they pit off cycle, they're definitely going to need to they're definitely going to need to put him in the middle. But right now, this KSR contingent is really happy being up front here. I think they're going to try and maybe let the McCullough Motorsports duo down, but down the backstretch, we'll see.
Yeah, they're not really pushing very hard. Again, you don't really need to. Not a time to push the issue. If you're first, second, third, fourth, or if you're third, fourth, fifth, sixth, doesn't make much of a difference in this small a field. So, would not be surprised if they just kind of lay off. And now Osmernaut starts to renew his efforts and keeps them out front down the backstretch and into 3. So, forget I said that. KSR stays out front. One of the most well-connected groups in the field tonight is that Group 4 for KSR. Certainly one of the best at communicating, being on top of each other's strategy. Again, one of the most well-connected groups, one of the groups that has the most chemistry, I would say, just because they work together so much, so often, so many nights a week. We see those guys running together, and it pays off in races like this. But the McCullough duo is putting up a fight up top. David Sheets, Austin Green are not going down without a fight. They're going down swinging up top. Sheets still even with the leader in 1 and 2. Austin Green, commendable job keeping the 1 truck up there and keeping those 2 trucks in the fight for the lead.
And now you see Mike Davenport. He gets connected with the PGR contingent there. He's in the middle of these 4 trucks now. Make it 5 trucks. He will be in the middle with Nash Rambilla getting pushed with J.R. Miller and Brock Westmoreland and Tyler Vickery. Just checked up a little bit, got him in line. Now you got 5 trucks pushing. Let's see if they can keep the temps going. But a lot of temps have been cycled up front here. You see KSR coming down pit road this time. Oh, Logan York gets tapped. Oh, he
Logan York hits Osmernaut. Carruthers is going to miss pit road, and the miscue by Logan York, or the contact from behind for Logan York, is going to cost KSR. Osmernaut likely going to get a speeding penalty. Will not be connected with his teammate, and now he's got damage. Carruthers missed pit road. We'll have to see if that is a penalty for the 10 truck as well, and that is an early bad break that KSR did not need. Now, the best thing to come out of that is look at how split this lead pack is now that all happened when they were coming to pit road. David Sheets, Austin Green are out by themselves. Then Fitzpatrick, Vondell, and then it's about another second back to Richard Elliott, Heath Job, and the rest of this pack.
Oh, no. The race admin... Oh, no. The race admin just removed Dustin Carruthers. He went to clear a black flag and removed him from the race. So that is the end of the night for Dustin Carruthers.
It's 4 seasons of heartbreak for Dustin Carruthers. Again, the winningest driver in this series. And now the last 3 seasons, something has gone horribly wrong to take him out of contention for a championship. And, I mean, that's as frustrating can get. I can't imagine that it is a very happy group over there between what just happened and now what has transpired after the crash occurred, coming onto pit road and all the miscues there, all the penalties that were handed out, and now to boot, Dustin Carruthers' night comes to a premature end by no fault of his own. That is such an unfortunate break for a guy that, quite frankly, probably deserves a championship by now for what he's done in this series.
I feel really bad for him. I feel bad for Trevor Osmernaut as well. Looks like Zach Grange just followed Logan York down below the yellow, and I mean Logan's below the yellow braking. It's not his fault. And Jack Range just gets into the back of him.
Last group's on pit road. This is Job, Elliott, Sheets, Green, Fitzpatrick, and Range coming to pit road here this time by. As these guys will make their pit stops, be the final group to come to pit road. And now it's just a question of who cycles out where. It looks like the KSR duo now of Ray and Baste has been caught by Logan York, Brock Westmoreland, J.R. Miller, Nash Rambilla, Tyler Vickery. So KSR not fully out of this one yet. And they are quickly closing in on the leaders. In fact, they're going to bypass the leaders here in 1 and 2. Ryan Baste, Devin Ray will go flying past that lead pack as they roll out of the pits. It'll be a close exit to pit road, but man, that brings PGR back into it. They were losing time there for a few laps, and now all of a sudden, man, I mean, incredible break for the 4 PGR trucks, at least the 4 on the lead lap, as they are now right back in this race down the backstretch. They're going to be just to the back half of the top 10 after this cycle concludes here on lap 28.
Yeah, you see all the pit stops cycling through. We talked about it the last championship. It was all going to come down to these pit stops and how they executed. And now it's just going to be, can Devin Ray, can Ryan Baste hold that lead up front and possibly get this KSR contingent and salvage them a win and get at least one of them in victory lane, because they look pretty dominant here early.
Well, the problem is now they're without 2 of their teammates. Now Osmernoth will likely catch the back of the field here when they come around, but how damaged is his truck is going to be my question. And obviously they lose Carruthers, so they go from 4 to 2 and really 3, I guess, with Osmernoth. But I mean, again, how successful is his truck going to be? Look at these guys. I'm not going to lie, this is pretty smart. They're going to go to the back of the field. They're going to save some gas, and honestly, I wouldn't want to lead all these laps. You're burning more fuel that way. They're going to go find a spot in line, save some gas, and play this the smart way, because that's the only choice these 2 trucks have. A PGR now all of a sudden is in the best spot of any of the teams coming into this race. McCullough's had problems. KSR's had problems. PGR had 1 get a penalty, but other than that, all 4 of their trucks in really, really good shape here. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th on the inside on lap number 30. They're in a really great spot. They got to be loving their chances right now.
Yeah, KSR dropping to the back like you were talking about. Mike Davenport backs up just a tad, but Logan York leading this line with Brock Westmoreland pushing him. J.R. Miller just off the back bumper. You're going to see Davenport go high, Brock Westmoreland go high. All PGR to the top, Mash and Tyler on the bottom. Going to give Logan a big shot, but Brock Westmoreland, big power move to the lead.
PGR splits. They go 2 to the outside, actually 3. Count it with Mike Davenport. 2 stay on the inside. That's Vickery and Brambilla. So Brock Westmoreland goes to the lead. J.R. Miller is now 2nd. J.R., the winner of that darkness concluded race, the shortened race that ran in the dark. It was concluded with 10 laps to go. J.R. Miller, that's how he is in this championship race, is by winning that race. I think he would have been in on points anyway, but regardless, he won that race and got into this championship race. Now here he is, and he's been on a pretty good tear recently, riding some serious momentum as he got a win in Tuesday Night Thunder a couple weeks back, and is all of a sudden riding a huge wave of momentum. He's been the most aggressive we've ever seen him, and he's run up front seemingly everywhere he goes, everywhere you turn. The 78's been up front. It's no different tonight, as he will help his teammate here, and they'll actually have 1 drop down. David Sheets, that was really close getting into 3. So off turn 4, it'll be Davenport dropping in front of his teammate David Sheets. Man, that was about as close can get, dropping across the bumper of Davenport, dropping across the bumper of Westmoreland. He tried to follow the 55 down the racetrack. That was, again, almost calamity. That's 3 or 4 times now at the front of the field where you thought a wreck was going to happen. A wreck probably should have happened, and we got away with it. Almost a third of the way in, we've survived disaster thus far.
Yeah, survived disaster. I mean, not to really dig it back in, but disaster for Dustin Carruthers. Trevor Osmernoth right now, it's not looking very good for him. Ron Morris Jr. Also at the start of the race, but the name of the game is just survive and get to the end of this race. Davenport 1 lap down, Ron Morris Jr. 1 lap down, looking to go 2 laps down here soon. And then Carruthers, like we talked about, just out of the race.
So we'll watch and see. Obviously, Davenport's on the 1 lap down train. Ron Morris is going to be 2 down. He is not in this lead draft, and like you said, Carruthers out of the race. A couple other trucks have found their way to Trevor Osmernoth. That is Range and Danny Barnes, who also lost the draft on their pit stops. So Osmernoth does have some help with him, but they are bleeding time here to the front pack. So I imagine they would be the next 3 to go a lap down. It will be a while until they go a lap down. If you're Range, I imagine you're going to try to just stay in it, help the 9 and the 0-1, obviously running together here tonight. If you're Trevor Osmernoth, you're going to stay in it, try to help your teammates, the 2 and the 73, excuse me. So these guys not racing for nothing out there, but certainly a little bit demoralizing here early to have those problems happen, especially, like you mentioned, for a KSR group that looked so dominant early, looked like they were going to be the team to beat, have some problems happen on pit road, and obviously by no fault of their own. Heath Job, Cole Fitzpatrick, Richard Elliott, they want to go back to the lead. They're up on the outside, but it's all David Sheets right now on the bottom, and he and Austin Green. I'll tell you, for the problems with Ron Morris, for Mark Von Dill, just kind of being logged in traffic tonight, he's towards the tail end of this lead group. David Sheets, Austin Green are holding their own here at the front of the field for McCullough Motorsports. They've driven from the back to the front a few different times now.
Yeah, I just think with Mark, though, I talk about it every time. He's gotten so much better at his pit stops, and he's definitely one of the best guys that can get on and off pit road. Doesn't make mistakes, gets down to speed on time, has great entry, and hits his marks. That's all he's worried about. He's just sitting back there saving fuel. Knows he can take less fuel as long as he can get on and off pit road in a timely fashion. He's going to be there at the end. He'll come back to the front.
Heat Job going to take another turn out front. He'll get the lead. He'll drop down as we have 66 laps remaining here at Talladega. Still only a third of the way through this one. Another pit stop coming for PGR. It'll take place around lap 50. For everybody else, it'll be closer to lap 60 that those pit stops take place. Or actually, it'll be just before 60, most likely, that those second pit stops take place. So we await those now, as again, not a ton of racing going on at the front of the field. Fitzpatrick, Elliott, the only two up top. It's Heath Job, David Sheets, Austin Green, first three on the bottom, and three of the PGR trucks. Mike Davenport's a lap down, then Brock Westmoreland, J.R. Miller, Logan York, Nash Brambilla, Tyler Vickery, Mark Vondell, Devin Ray, and Ryan Baste. 13 trucks in your lead draft that realistically still have a shot at the championship. 65 laps to go. And again, David Sheets. Oh, man, maybe door bang there with Heath Job into one. Not sure what that was about, but they traded some paint. As they climb up the banking, and Job will go up there and fetch some help, and let Austin Green cool off.
Yeah, big push from David Sheets here. You're going to see Richard Elliott get to the back bumper. Austin, no real help there on the bottom side. Davenport going to get back to him, but he's that lap down truck. Heath Job's going to be clear. David Sheets almost clear. Had it barely, but David got side drafted by Austin there. You see Ron Morris Jr. going another lap down. Going to try and tag on to this lead tail end of this draft, but he again, on those pit stops, he got in a mix-up with something that wasn't even close to being his fault. So unfortunate night for Ron Morris Jr., just going from bad to worse. But like we said, 100 laps. He said it even when he got knocked out of the draft in the first lap. He was a little mad, but he just said, I got 100 laps, so I'll get back up there. So we'll see if he can do it again.
Would be one of the wild comeback stories that we've seen if he comes back from 2 laps down to somehow get back in this race. But I mean, it's happened before. Happened in the Cup Series on Sunday with Kyle Larson. Anything can happen at these races. He was 2 laps down, and you'd spin your head around, and all of a sudden he's back on the lead lap. So not impossible for Ron Morris Jr., because you know that the last 20 to 25 laps of this race are going to be chaotic. They're going to be wild. More opportunities for mistakes, opportunities for Ron to get laps back. If he just hangs around and stays in it, he will get a look at it. If the end of this race is as wild as I think it's going to be, when it all comes down to it and it's all for one spot, this race is going to turn into a bit of chaos with about 20 laps to go. He's got to weather the storm and get to that point. Heath Job back to the lead. The help of David Sheets and Cole Fitzpatrick, and Austin Green with fresh temps will jump right up there, push the 760, and keep that line rolling. Notably, Morris does have some help in the outside line as Devin Ray's decided to come up here and jump into the front of the field as well, as he pushes down the 76, headed back to 3.
Yeah, Ron Morris Jr. trying to get one lap back a little bit the hard way. Maybe he can get Davenport to work with him, and they could both be up front in front of these leaders, putting Ron Morris just one lap down and Davenport back on the lead lap. That would put Ron Morris Jr. in that lucky dog position if he does that as well.
Job up to block as the outside line gets a little bit more crowded. Now Davenport jumps back down, and Devin Ray, now that he got Morris up to the front, will probably smartly drop back in the field. He'll go backwards. Ron Morris going to test 3 wide. First 3 wide action of the night occurs here on lap 39, but it was only for a moment as Morris jumps back in line behind Cole Fitzpatrick. And now everything is back to 2x2, 4 rows deep, as Ray goes back to the help of his teammate Ryan Baste. And we get back to exactly how things were a moment ago. Still bleeding time is that group with Range, Barnes, and Oswornoth as they continue to try to catch the leaders, but it's just not really working out for them so far under this run. And about 10 to 15 laps until pit stops, 39 seconds back. Going to be awfully hard to battle back from that. They're really bleeding some time now, 14th, 15th, and 16th. An unfortunate break for those 3 trucks. Job and Sheets trade the lead again. It's Job leading his lap. 40 is on the board, almost halfway home already, if you can believe that in this race.
I think you're going to see PGR coming in about 10 laps, and then the rest of the field coming around 15 to 20 laps. So look around lap 50, 51, right at the halfway mark for this Team PGR contingent to come down pit road.
So they will be coming in about 10 laps or so. That's when we'll start to watch for those trucks back there, the 4, the 78, the 23, the 124, and the 55 of Mike Davenport. Now, again, like we said, probably in the best spot of any of the teams here. They've got all 5 trucks in this lead group, and they've got a strategy that is off-cycle enough that allows them to kind of break the pack and be able to line up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and be able to start putting down some lap times. 5 trucks in a 20-truck field now, especially if there's only 13 in the lead draft. 5 trucks more than enough to make something like that work and run good enough lap times to pace the field. So we'll see how that works for Team PGR as, again, they run 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 6th, 7th, 9th, 10th, and Davenport first car lap down in 17th. We expect them in about 10 laps. 60 laps to go, and nothing has changed up front. Still Job, Green, Sheets, Fitzpatrick, Elliott, your top 5. Ron Morris and Mike Davenport continue to hang around in hopes that something will go their way. On 41, man, Fitzpatrick was almost not clear. And PGR, they're leaning off to the pit lane. Are they coming this time? No, they just dove off the racetrack. So I thought for a second they were going to end up just pitting, but instead it was just the checkup that split the field up. Really close moment there in 3 and 4.
Yeah, real close moment. Fitzpatrick thought he was clear. Davenport had a little bit more of a run than he thought was going to happen there on the inside. They stack up towards the back. Everyone saves it. Good wreck avoidance and good save by Cole Fitzpatrick.
Well, it splits the field up. Now Elliott off the back bumper of Sheets. Westmoreland off the back bumper of his teammate Davenport. And now it looks like the field's going to start to line up single file on the bottom of the racetrack. And this is kind of what I expected earlier. They raced for a little bit longer than I anticipated. But nonetheless, they're all going to drop down along the yellow. Fitzpatrick, the only car out of line now, all the way towards the back. I believe he will find himself a slot in line as well. And for the most part, single file, closing in on halfway home. And now we are into this bit of a lull period in the race where we're just waiting on that next pit stop to get us into another green flag run and shake up the strategy a little bit more. 2 of the McCullough trucks up front. PGR trucks, like I said, are 5th, 6th, 8th, and 9th on the speedway right now. KSR with 2 trucks left. They are 10th and 11th. As, oh man, Job almost got turned right there. Another close moment off of 2.
Big moment, big move on the outside. Oh, David Sheets not clear. David Sheets going to get left out to the drive, and Heath Job is not happy. He gives it to the back bumper of Austin Green there. It shows his displeasure. You're going to see a gap, though, for David Sheets to get back in line. Cole Fitzpatrick really rolling that outside now. A big checkup all over the track.
A big checkup comes to the big moment going into 3 as that one truck tried to jump in line. Heath Job has to jump on the brakes to avoid getting in the left rear of David Sheets. Somehow does, but then, man, to me, looked like maybe, yeah, you're right, some displeasure from the driver of the 760, and he showed it right there. And he is not happy with those 2. Now he'll have to take a breath, jump back into this race. Still a long way to go. And, temper that frustration. Just push the guy in front of you and keep that line moving. Cole Fitzpatrick, Logan York, that's what they're doing on the outside right now. York, Fitzpatrick going to make that run back to the front again. They did this on the first run. They're doing it again now. Fitzpatrick about to break back into the top 5.
Fitzpatrick, big move on the outside, getting a huge push from Logan York. Per usual, David Sheets jumps up to the top side. Elliott thought about it. Doesn't take it. Heath Job, though, he wants to go back to the lead. He's looked really strong tonight. Led a lot of laps early here and leading a lot of laps on this second run.
So Job goes back to the lead. David Sheets will take him there. Job, I imagine, would clear down here into 1 and again leave Sheets up on the top side of the racetrack. Man, tough break for David Sheets on this run. Man, just cannot catch any breaks, cannot catch any help on the top side of the racetrack. But now he grabs some. Fitzpatrick, York pushing hard. Sheets will be even with the leader headed for 3. And again, they will battle elbow to elbow, the 1 and the 760. 2 guys that have clearly, apparently not been very happy with each other tonight. But so far, everybody keeping it clean, minding their P's and Q's, and not doing anything too foolish, too outlandish so far. As we are 5 laps away from what we anticipate to be Team PGR's next pit stop, as they run all in line along the bottom side of the racetrack.
On the bottom, but David Sheets trying to get to that lead, getting ready for these pit stops going to be coming up. Not going to be around lap 54 McCullough Motorsports, maybe they could take a look and try and pit with them. They'll be a little bit lighter on fuel when it comes down to it. Logan York pulls to the bottom side. David Sheets going to get Austin Green clear here. He'll jump to the top side. He's going to give the big push, but Cole Fitzpatrick falls in line now to the bottom. A lot of shuffling going on, a lot of games being played, little chess moves going on halfway through this race. Lap 46 coming to 47.
With 5 laps to go until we anticipate those first pit stops. Now, my question would be, and I started to think about this once the KSR mishaps happened on pit road, those 2 KSR trucks, obviously now at a disadvantage team-wise compared to the other teams here at the front of the field, all having 3 or more. Would those 2 KSR trucks, it would be to put them off cycle, would they consider potentially pitting with the PGR trucks as Trevor Osmonaut, Danny Barnes, Zach Range all going to go a lap down? Do you think the 73 and the 2 would take any chance of pitting with the PGR trucks when they come down at about 5 laps?
I possibly. Oh, big move by Cole Fitzpatrick trying to cut off Richard Elliott. A lot of shuffling going on with these lap trucks. Really going to stack up that bottom line. Logan York is the person that's really going to hurt from this. He goes all the way to the back, and he has some front bumper damage. I mean, his nose damage, I think maybe that came from the pit road, but it looks a lot more exacerbated than whenever he got into the back of Trevor Osmonoff. Again, as you see, 3 wide finally. Oh! Austin Green, huge block to the top side. We're racing like it's the last lap here, boys. We still got half of this race to get done.
The regular season champ has come to race here on lap number 48. He goes to the front, and it is go time for the 87 as he goes down in front of the 02 Richard Elliott. Now we'll have 2 trucks in the middle pushing him. PGR tries to rally up in the outside line of the racetrack. It is 3 wide at the front of the field. Westmoreland, Miller, Brambilla, Vickery. The 4 lead lap PGR trucks are putting up a fight up in the outside, and leading the charge is Brock Westmoreland, and they will go 3 wide, elbow, elbow, elbow here in turns 3 and 4, but all of a sudden, just as that run was coming in, that run's going to start to fade. Man! Trouble! Heath Job goes for a slide. He's going to save it, and they're wrecking up front. It's David Sheets in the 1 and Tyler Vickery in the 124. They will go around and put us under the caution flag at a pivotal point in this race right before the second pit stop. We missed it trying to catch Heath Job. Seemed he was going to catch that slide. And let's see what happened to the 1 of David Sheets coming off of turn number 4. You see Job down there on the inside. He got turned when Austin Green comes back down. I believe he's going to get a hit here from Richard Elliott. He gets a little bit of help right there. Jumps down the racetrack. Job gets door checked pretty much, or excuse me, just bumper checked right there on the inside. Then Sheets kind of bounces off some trucks. He hooks Richard Elliott. Elliott goes for a slide. Then York gets in the back of Sheets. J.R. Miller is going to get some damage. Nash Brambilla is going to get some damage. So, wow, this is a considerable incident as we're almost to halfway. Sheets is going to get hit here by Tyler Vickery, who tries to miss this wreck, but is going to get a piece of the right rear of the 1 of David Sheets. So, a few of the PGR trucks involved, a couple of the McCullough trucks involved, and one of the Hyper trucks in Heath Joe. We'll take another look from up above, and I'll show you again what I mean by David Sheets went for a bit of a pinball routine here off turn number 4. Watch the 1 there in the middle of the red and black truck. Watch him bounce off Richard Elliott. He's going to hit him right here, and then watch him get bounced off all kinds of trucks. There's a bounce there. There's one right there off the 02. Then he's going to get hooked, and then now watch as he just gets hit like bumper cars. There's one, and here comes the second in the 124 of Tyler Vickery, who will come along and hit him right here on the end of this clip right there. Just a little bit of contact for the 124 as he gets into the side of Sheets and gets involved as well. We'll take one more look at it here.
Oh, man, sorry to cut you off. There is someone out here playing strategy. Austin Green understands that, oh, man, I think either he's going for this halfway bonus that was promised or he was going to trap these guys a lap down. I mean, he's going to trap down a bunch of people a lap down here. Zach Range is going to go a lap down. Davenport's going to stay a lap down. Danny Barnes is going to stay a lap down. His teammate, Rob Morris, is going to stay 2 laps down. So a little bit of strategy here staying out.
As we watch the tail end of this incident one more time, David Sheets, Nash Brambilla, Richard Elliott, Tyler Vickery, J.R. Miller, Heath Job, Austin Green, and Logan York, all credited as being involved in this one. And like you said, Austin Green traps these lap trucks a lap down, and that includes, unfortunately, Ron Morris Jr., who is 2 laps down still under this caution. So they unfortunately stay out as well. Austin Green has captured the the flat 49 bonus. It wasn't quite halfway, but 49 to 50. Austin Green leads that lap, so he will capture that extra little bonus as he leads that lap. That might have been why he might pit right here and come to pit road, do his service, and come back out at the tail end of the field. He might have just been going for that bonus, but like you said, traps a bunch of guys here behind the 8 ball, including Davenport Barnes, Osranath, and Ron Morris at the halfway point. Well, as we hit the halfway point, perfect time as we hit under the caution flag to bring in the third member of our team tonight who's joined us up here in the broadcast booth, and that is Season 1 champion of Little Guys Series and owner of PGR eSports, Michael Triscaro. Mike, I don't know how much of this race you've gotten to watch. Certainly a bit of calamity at the front at times. It finally ends in a wreck right there. And Austin Green looking good so far. Leads the halfway lap, gets that little bonus there at lap 49.
Yeah, just got to check out the last 5-6 laps here. I was doing some racing of my own, but we put that bonus out there earlier, and I kind of wanted it to be a little chaotic, and sure enough it was. Austin staying out there on the pit stops to get that halfway bonus, so we'll see if that ends up paying off for him here in the end. But yeah, it looks like some crazy racing. I see that Dustin Crothers not in the race anymore, so some crazy news there, but you got it all here in the Little Guys Series, so hopefully we can go the rest of the way and have a clean race here.
Development that I've never seen is Carruthers being unintentionally removed from the race, as you heard Baker say a little bit ago, during that first pit cycle. Just an inadvertent, unfortunately, an inadvertent removal for Dustin Carruthers ends his season, and that's a really heartbreaking way to end his season again this season. But as we get ready to go back green, Austin Green stays out again, so he did not pit the second time either, which means he's going to be way on the weird side of the strategy where he's going to have to pit probably the next 10 to 12 laps on fuel. So an interesting decision there. Cole Fitzpatrick is going to inherit second, and it's Mark Vondell, Tyler Vickery on row 2, David Sheets, Heath Job on row 3, Logan York, Devin Ray on row 4, and then from there on back it'll be Brock Westmoreland, Ryan Bass, Richard Elliott, J.R. Miller, Zach Range, and Nash Brambilla. Those are your lead lap trucks here on lap 51. We're just past halfway, and as we get ready to go back green, some strategy played by the 87. I'm not sure I love that decision, though, because of how far off cycle he's going to be.
Yeah, halfway here. The best thing for him, though, is if these guys can mix it up, wad it up, and get him down pit road for a free pit stop. But if not, I don't think that he's going to have the support that he needs from the McCulloughs to try and stay in this lead draft. They would have to wait a long time for him to fully fuel up, and that's just going to hinder them on pit road. You know, it's going to be a one-stop race here, so unfortunate for Austin here.
Yeah, I was able to just get a word with Austin, and he wasn't sure of the rules there for the halfway point, so he stayed out, and the pits were closed, and he wanted to avoid a 40-second hold. So, unfortunate for Austin here. We'll see kind of what his strategy here is, but he's going to need a caution, I think, to get back in this one.
Well, he's going to have his teammates pit with him. Now, lucky for him, they're 2 rows behind him, as well as Ron Morse is not far out of this either, so he'll have his teammates to pit. But they'll have to do so here pretty shortly, probably in about the next 10 to 12 laps on the racetrack. Green flag is back in the air. 49 laps to go in the Little Guys Championship race. Austin Green leads him back to the green flag. Cole Fitzpatrick has a rear mirror full of Tyler Vickery in the 124, who was just involved in that incident and yet finds himself in position number 4. And if you look further back, you'll want to watch trucks like Mike Davenport, Trevor Osranath, and Danny Barnes, who are all going to try to be fighting to either a lucky dog spot or to try to get their lap back the hard way. Cole Fitzpatrick goes to the lead down the Alabama Gang Super Stretch. He's pushed by Vickery. Fitzpatrick leads in 3.
Big push on the outside. Got Cole Fitzpatrick clear to the lead. Mark Vondell pushing Austin Green. They're going to line up by 3 on the bottom. This bottom's going to have a lot of momentum, but Heath Job trying to get back to the front. I feel like he was the most deserving truck there to get that halfway bonus. Kind of got screwed out of it with that wreck, but nonetheless, he's coming back up front, giving a good push to Tyler with Devin Ray and Trevor Osmanoth in tow.
Vickery goes all the way to the front. He'll go to the lead, so the newest Team PGR acquisition is going to lead his first moments of the race on lap 53. He's pushed by Heath Job in the 760. Then it's Devin Ray, followed by his teammate that is one of the lap down trucks, Trevor Osbornoth. He's fourth on the outside, trying to get in a position to get his lap back, battling Mike Davenport for that position right now, who is a couple of trucks behind him. Vickery to the inside. He will lead the race now. Devin Ray, lead pusher on the top side behind Heath Job. Top line going to start to rotate. And I'm telling you what, with 48 laps to go, they are getting a lot more racy a lot earlier than I had anticipated as Job goes back to the lead off 4.
You know the cautions breed cautions. And these, oh, man, Devin Ray gets a little loose. Just as I say that, gets pushed down the hill by Trevor, or at least had a little bit of tunnel vision there for Heath Job. Followed him down the racetrack. But like we said, cautions breed cautions, and that's exactly what Austin Green wants to see. He doesn't want to be mixed up in it, but you see him off by about a full truck length, trying to save as much fuel, stretch out this fuel run as long as he can. That way, maybe he can get his boys out, and Mark Vondell and David Sheets to pit with him.
Yeah, on point here. Heath Job going into turn 3. Heath looking very strong here in the middle of the race. Just needs a little bit of luck to go his way tonight. I think he's one of the strongest trucks here in the field. Here comes Devin Ray, Trevor Astronaut on the top, Team KSR. Dead heat here in the Tri-Oval.
One of the most spirited efforts so far from Heath Job, and that's not a dig at him. Very, very capable driver, but certainly one of the more aggressive, more spirited, more confident efforts I've seen out of Heath Job in a long time. The motivation is very real for the driver of the 760 to capture Little Guys Series Championship gold for the Hyper Motorsports group here tonight as he goes back to the lead. He's led a ton of laps in this race and has really looked good doing it. Jumps back up here to Devin Ray, allows Tyler Vickery to get some cooling on the bottom, and now the bottom is falling apart just a little bit. It takes him a minute to get back together. Fitzpatrick back to Vickery, but not before. Potentially Devin Ray might get clear going into 3, and he will. Devin Ray to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll go back to the lead, and KSR, for the first time since that first pit stop, inherits the lead of the race. Devin Ray to the lead off turn number 4.
Devin Ray controlling lines, Pied Piper in back and forth. He gets pushed out of line, a little squirrely on the top side. He's trying to just lead as many laps as he can here. Keep KSR up front, keep them on the broadcast and out front with the KSR train. The Jack Shack showing out well here.
Jack Shack always showing up.
And he gets turned! And he's going to come back up into the field. David Sheets collected, Cole Fitzpatrick collected, Richard Elliott collected. A couple trucks, they wreck further back, and Austin Green's involved in this. The 87, no left front fender on that car, and they're wrecking further back as well. Cole Fitzpatrick's got big damage. David Sheets has big damage. And boy, oh boy, is that not what Austin Green wanted to see. The left front torn off the 87. We saw it happen live. Let's go back, take a look at what happened in this, the second caution of the night. Devin Ray was coming down and trying to make this move to the bottom, and I'm telling you, does Job go with him? Oh, man. Job gets him in the right rear. Heath Job collects Devin Ray right there, hooks him sideways. Ray goes right to left trying to save that truck, and they pile up behind him. Now watch this. He slides back up the racetrack, goes up into the outside wall, and is collected by several trucks. Elliott, Sheets, Fitzpatrick, and they wrecked further back. We'll go back here around Austin Green. Oh, man. Heath Job's in this big time. Logan York's in this big time. Tyler Vickery is in this. This is a lot of really good trucks that are all of a sudden going to possibly see their nights come to an end. I mean, this is going to be a night ender for some of these guys as they file into this wreck. Let's take another look at it as they headed off into turn number 1. You see up ahead, Devin Ray is going to get turned. Job gets turned as the bottom line stacks up. And then behind them, now watch the 0-1 of York, the black and blue truck. You see Green get into it right here. Now watch Logan York in the 0-1. He piles into the back of Austin Green, so he gets a piece of this. Ryan Baste, I had to go on board with the 73 because he's picking through there, trying to just make it through the wreck unscathed. And I think he does, so we're going to have to get a quick look on board of the 73. But man, a tough break that takes out a lot of really, really good trucks at just past the halfway point.
Yeah, just unfortunate. Austin Green got the caution he needed, but like we talked about, he just he's involved in it. Left front fender is almost impossible to repair on this truck. If it would have been a front bumper, it would have been different, but there's going to be a lot of repairs happening here.
Yeah, it looks like Trevin Astronaut's going to be the biggest benefit from that caution. Looks like he'll be back on the lead lap. Not sure if Davenport was able to get ahead of those leaders when the caution came out to get his race's lap back, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. I was just about to talk about the lap down car trucks here tonight and sure enough, Trevor Nashornott looks like he's back to the lead lap.
Well, that's a very interesting development, as Davenport is not going to be able to get his lap. Well, now he starts to speed up, so perhaps he was ahead of the leaders. Davenport is back on the lead lap as well. So Danny Barnes will be the one trapped a lap down when we go back to green. But Davenport is back on the lead lap, and so is Osmernoth. And it's a big deal for Osmernoth because I believe, if I saw it right, his truck is clean. So Ryan Bass, despite the fact that Devin Race got some considerable repairs, they're still going to have 2 trucks because Osmernoth, for all intents and purposes, his truck looked completely clean to me. It looked like he was able to get his damage repaired on our last caution flag. So Osmernoth maybe right back in the hunt for a championship after a really rough start to the race for that 89 truck.
Yeah, rough start for him, but just really rough for 2 of my picks for tonight. Austin Green, Logan York, both with left front fenders missing. Oh man, wow. Austin Green has a left front fender. This just in, they must have recovered it off the track, put it back on. Same thing with Logan York as well. He's got a little hood separation, but his left foot fender is also back on. Now his hood is flat. I mean, these guys are getting all of their repairs done. If they don't have engine damage, they're going to have pretty clean trucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It looks like Zach Range, he's going to be our leader. Danny Barnes, it looks like he'll still be a lap down. He is right behind the pace truck here, but I'll have to see what happens with him. But yeah, I think Mike Davenport got lucky there that the caution kind of came out a little bit late maybe and was able to race his way back to the lead lap.
So Range will inherit the lead on pit road, and yeah, as those guys come off pit road, I mean, J.R. Miller looks to be mostly clean. We'll see Osmernoth as he comes by our camera. Yep, he looks to be clean as well. Fitzpatrick has a clean truck. Austin Green has a clean truck. Devin Ray has a clean truck. Man, all these guys. I said it was going to end some nights. I don't think I was correct, actually. It has ended, I believe, one night, and that is going to be David Sheets in the 1. So I believe the McCullough Motorsports entry of David Sheets, he is done for the night. But other than that, everyone that was involved in that wreck, you saw some big damage in that wreck. Everybody seemed to get their trucks fixed, and that's a testament to just how much you can get fixed, how much margin for error you have in these trucks.
Yeah, David Sheets looks like he had a little bit of terminal engine damage, had the right front toe link knocked out as well. So just unfortunate for him. He was running strong, trying to get back towards the front. But Zach Range with some unfortunate pit road mistakes early, back out front here leading. We're going to be coming to 40 to go here once we take the green flag.
Still one pit stop to go, and now it opens the bag of strategy. Do you pit
Oh,
early? Do you
no. Mark Vondell looks like he just dropped internet connection. He was sitting in 3rd place right there, middle of the backstretch, just like he looked like he lost internet connection.
So another really tough break. Man, some tough breaks in tonight's race. We talked about Carruthers. We talked about that KSR group as a whole. Now, David Sheets gets caught up in a couple wrecks that were none of his fault. Now, Mark Vondell gets, unfortunately, bit by the technology bug in this race. He is going to go at least one lap down, trying to jump back in the session. We'll have to see if he is able to get right back on track and potentially minimize the damage here under this, the second caution of the night. Now, I think the best thing for him is that it was able to happen under caution. So at the very least, he's not going to lose as much time as if it had happened under a green flag run. So we'll see what the 59 can get recovered here. He's still showing on a lead lap right now, but has to try to get back in the session as soon as possible. It's Zach Range that leads the field. It's Trevor Osmernoth who goes from a lap down to outside of the front row. And here we go again at Talladega. 41 laps to go. One pit stop left in this championship race. Green flag is back in the air. We're back racing. Off goes the field towards turn number 1.
We're about to see how many trucks are actually damaged if they didn't get all of it repaired off. You're going to see a little bit of a slow start back with Austin Green. Vondell looks like he's getting connected back in. He should load in, be about 2 laps down. Hopefully he gets some wave rounds here, get him back on the lead lap. But up front, already single file. You're going to see a lot of fuel saving here from these guys. Not going to try and make it, but at least make the pit stop a lot easier.
Well, we're getting ready for that last pit stop. The last pit stop of the season, perhaps, here. As, oh, man, trouble back around Austin Green. Not sure what's going on there, but Green had to bail to the apron. He gets it recovered and is able to get back up on the racetrack. No harm, no foul. Devin Ray has fallen to the help of Logan York. Let's see if they can gain anything here. It looks like they are gaining some ground, so Devin Ray appears that he did not lose very much in that incident. In fact, they've got a full head of steam. This is a big run for the two. He goes up around the outside of Heath Job. Those two are flying to the front, and that is a welcome sight for the 89 and for the 73. Imagine they will take it here off turn number 2. Will they jump up to the help of their teammate? Yes, they will. Fitzpatrick, what in the world was the 9 doing right there? He splits up the KSR group. We're going to be 4 wide almost off 2.
Oh, I mean, he just drove absolutely. I think he destroyed his front end. He drove through Zach Range. That's the hardest I've seen someone drive through. I mean, Cole Fitzpatrick is, he gets up the track in 3 and 4. This guy is going to cause a wreck.
Crazy race here. We got Logan York up on the third lane, leading the third lane. Danny Barnes, Ryan Bass, now Devin Ray to the point. Trevor Astronaut, you got 3 KSR right in a row. Devin Ray's going to clear bottom. He's going to be in front of Zachary Range. And Austin, here comes Austin Green up the middle.
Boy, oh boy, it did not take long for the KSR trucks to once again find the front. Now they are disadvantaged now, missing a teammate. They were already missing a teammate at the start of tonight's race. Thomas Parker, like we said, unable to make the grid, but now, again, missing a second teammate as a result of that unfortunate break earlier in the race. But now, 3 of them have found their way back to the front of the field. They bring Austin Green along with them. Those 2 will leave Austin out to dry up on the top side of the racetrack as he awaits some help. And it's from the onrushing Team PGR contingent. All 4 of their lead lap trucks are right back in. In fact, make it all 5. Mike Davenport got his lap back under the caution. PGR has all 5 trucks on the lead lap, and they're coming back to the front on lap 62.
They are. I think Baker's getting a word with Team McCullough right now. PGR is regrouping. They got their sights set on KSR. We've had a great KSR PGR battle in this series all season long. Even had a wager one night. It'd be great to see these PGR guys get back up to the front to compete with them. Right now it's Zach Range kind of on the tails of KSR, doing his thing solo, trying to make it around those guys. They're going to stay single file here out of turn number 2.
Well, look, Dustin Carruthers was not the only one of the hard-working, long-tenured KSR trucks in the field tonight. Really, all 4 of these guys that are in the field tonight have been in this series for a little bit. They've all had opportunities at the championship tonight, shaping up to be their best yet. And the guy leading the race, perhaps, along with Dustin Carruthers, the one that most deserves to be in this spot, and that's Ryan Bass. One of the hardest-working guys in the field, one of the guys that's been around at many of the end of these races, and just has not found the luck tonight, though. KSR 1 through 3, the train is rolling up in the front of the field so far, 1 through 3. From there, you have to go back to PGR, running 6th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th to find the next full team that's all together. Zach Range going to make a move to the outside. He brings Cole Fitzpatrick. They bring Nash Brambella, who immediately snaps back down to the inside in front of Austin Green. Thought better of it here on lap 64 because we are approaching the pit window. Now, I wonder how many guys will decide to go right at the window right about lap 70 and decide to pit this one early. I would have expected Austin Green to perhaps drop back there to a couple of his teammates, or at least one of his teammates that's back there, but no, he's going to stay up front and keep that truck in contention. Right now, 3rd on the outside, and coming back to the front along with him, Hyper Motorsports Heath Job, the 760, looking to go right back to the front yet again. 36 laps to go at Talladega.
Here goes 78, J.R. Miller. He's in tow, getting back to Nash Brambilla's bumper here. Brock Westmoreland, you have to assume those guys are gearing up for green flag stops. It wouldn't put it past me if Nash has these guys come in early, stay clean on their own, get off or on and off pit road as fast as possible. We've seen them do it before and execute it perfectly. We'll just have to see kind of how this race plays out because, here we go. We got Cole Fitzpatrick. He's going to the lead now, getting pushed by Austin Green here into turn 3. Is he going to clear? He should clear. If he's going to go bottom, he's not. He's going to stay up here. He clears now. It's Cole Fitzpatrick to the lead coming out of turn 4.
He washed up a lot in 3 and 4. I'm surprised he got all the way to the lead as far as they washed up there in the middle of the corner, but nonetheless, they make it work. Fitzpatrick goes back to lead. He's another guy that's led a lot of laps tonight just by virtue of he's been one of the more aggressive guys in the field, and because of that, it pays off. He goes back to the front and now leads some more laps. Austin Green, Heath Job will go to the outside as well. Here comes Danny Barnes, who's also back on the lead lap, by the way. Danny Barnes did get his lap back under that caution, as well as Logan York there coming to help Heath Job. They're going to go all the way to the safer barrier. Danny Barnes takes his run all the way up there, and we're tandem racing here down the backstretch. It's Danny Barnes that's 3 wide for the lead. Now the problem is that's probably going to cancel out the run that middle line has unless Barnes can get all the way clear here into 3. It's going to be close. but no cigar for Danny Barnes, and that will stall both of those middle lines, and unfortunately drag them backwards and allows Fitzpatrick again to lead off of 4, 5 laps short of the fuel window, and we'll have to start to look. Man, that was a really big move, and now Austin Green's hung in the middle, but here comes Logan York to help. I'm telling you what, these 4 in the middle, now 5 in the middle, not doing much to help each other right now with 34 to go.
No, they're really not. I mean, we got a couple alliances up here with the Hyper Motorsports teammates on the outside. Logan York, he's working with Fitzpatrick in range. Austin Green's kind of a nomad right now here up front. KSR's drifting back just a tad, and PGR's kind of waiting in the wings here. So this is shaping up to be a heck of a finish here tonight. I just hope we could stay green, get to these green flag stops, and put on a show tonight.
Dude, these 2 trucks of Zach Range and Cole Fitzpatrick, I don't think they care about their front bumpers. I'll be honest. I've never seen someone drive through another truck as hard as they have been in these last couple of laps. It is unbelievable that they're able to keep a clean truck while driving that hard in the back of another one.
And with 34 laps to go, too. It's not like it's with 2 laps to go where you kind of just disregard the rest of your truck. Just try to bring it home under the checkered flag. This is with 30 or more laps to go when really you still have to make a pit stop. It's pretty inconsequential where you're running right now. These guys aren't running for anything right now, and yet, like you said, tearing the bumpers off their trucks, trying to push the guy in front of them. I mean, it's working. It's keeping them up front, but then again, how much damage are they doing to their trucks would be the question. Logan York goes back to the front with the help of Fitzpatrick. On the bottom, it's Job and Austin Green, and I mean, from them on back, from KSR on back, they're kind of relaxing. They're like, all right, these guys are going to go up there. They're going to tear each other's trucks up. We're going to ride right here and give ourselves a little bit of options. Another big moment there in the 3.
Sorry, yeah, I thought Range was turning Cole Fitzpatrick there. But you could see Cole Fitzpatrick, when he did that slam draft job, 8 or 9 laps ago, his right front fender, especially towards, I mean, it is almost square, but it's not. He's not going to be able to lead. You're gonna see it right now. Even though they have 3 chucks up there, this may be a bad idea for Austin Green to go up there. I don't know if he's trying to help that top line, but if they have any sort of formation on the bottom, that top line is not going to go anywhere with that damage on the front bumper of Cole Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, and you mentioned Zach Range and his front bumper. Well, Zach Range is really big into formula cars, road course cars, so he doesn't get many chances every week to rub fenders. So when he hops over here into the money scene in the trucks, Xfinity or next gen, he likes to get aggressive. So it could be just one of those things where like I said, he races karts and stuff like that, so he gets out here and loves to run fenders. So Logan York with the big block there on his teammate, man. And it's 3 in a row here for teammates on the top.
Oh man, I almost did the same thing you did, Baker. I thought they were going to wreck Logan York a very early move to the top, and Fitzpatrick had a heck of a run and just didn't lift. Just drove right through the back of the 0-1. Didn't lift at all, it didn't feel like. And again, another moment where I really thought they were going to wreck. Here we go again. He's not going to lift this time either. I don't know how these guys continue to get away with this. The 9 and the 043 pushing a little bit harder than I anticipated would work, and yet it's still somehow working for them. By the way, Mark Vondel, a second lap down now, but is back on the racetrack and is hooked up with his teammate Austin Green. So same situation here as Ron Morris trying to get back onto the lead lap.
I would just imagine the PGR guys want to get away from the situation. They're in their window coming to this lap. I would think all 5 of them come down pit road right here. Get away from them. You have 5 trucks. Try and get away from these guys that are side drafting, slam drafting, not making the pace that they need to. They don't have the good connections up front that they would like. You see Osmroth off the back. Based is off the back of Logan York. Job finally going to get a push here from Cole Fitzpatrick, but they are definitely going to be a lot faster if they pit this time.
Well, we're going to find out. Believe that Michael Triscaro's jumped down to ask those 5 drivers what their pit plan is right here. And again, the window will be open this time by. We'll see. And my question again is going to be, what does KSR do with only 3 trucks? Not going to be worth it pitting by themselves. Do they go with this lead group or do they go with PGR? Well, I imagine we're going to find out here pretty quickly once these guys decide to start coming down pit road. They bypassed it this time, inside of 30 to go, and now's about the time when I thought it was going to start getting a little bit nuts. Now, it kind of already has, but once this pit stop is made, especially if it's in the next 10 laps, I mean, this race is going to get crazy. Be ready to hang on once this pit stop is made. If this pack is anywhere close to the drivers we see up front right now, this is going to be a wild run to the checkers here at Talladega, but still, 1 pit stop to go. Fitzpatrick again, another big push. But they again work it out. I don't know how many of these he's going to get away with. I feel like you can only get away with so many.
Absolutely. You see McCullough Motorsports trying to work the way to the front. Bondell being 2 laps down, still going to try and help his teammate Austin Green out and Ron Morris Jr. a lap down. But they're going to try and gain that track position that they can to get ready for the pit stops. Only 2 of them in this lead draft to make those pit stops, but PGR does another lap around. I would assume that you would see them coming anytime soon here.
Yeah, Baker, they're going to come on lap 75, so we're at 73 right now. Look for them to come down at 75, take about 6-8. JR said he did have a little bit of damage on that car, so they're going to try to make sure he funnels up in front of them so he doesn't lose the draft here. But look for Team PGR to come on lap 75.
I'll tell you, I've done enough of this racing to know that I get what they're trying to do, putting him at the front of the line, but I would almost want him third in line, maybe fourth in line, to where you could sandwich him into that draft. He's not leading. That damage is not affecting him now. It does depend on where that damage is on his truck. If it's rear-end damage, okay, then being up front in that line's not going to harm you too much. If it's front-end damage, it might slow you down a little bit. So I'm curious on J.R. Miller. I would put him in the middle of the line, try to sandwich him a little bit in that line and keep your line moving, all pushing in line, but we'll see what they end up having to do, because again, they can plan that all they want, but when you come to pit road, sometimes, as we've seen tonight with the KSR contingent, your plans don't exactly go as you anticipate.
Yeah, but what's going to help them is they're towards the back of this pack. They can peel off late, and they're all in a Discord together. They communicate where each truck is going to go. So I think they're going to come down pit road by themselves, and if anything, they'll be towards the back whenever they all come down pit road.
Well, look, I like the strategy, but they're starting to get a little bit more cohesive up here at the front. Heath Job, Logan York, Ryan Baste are starting to push the tempo of this lead pack a little bit. So I'm wondering how that's going to harm PGR as we get into this final pit cycle, because these guys are, again, starting to push that pace, make it a little bit quicker up here at the front. They're not as much side drafting anymore because Fitzpatrick and Range and Company have dropped all the way back to 4th position, now make it 5th position up on the outside line of the racetrack as Matthew Baker's gone to get a word with PGR as it is their pit lap. Mike, the PGR boys coming to pit road this time. They might force the hand of the leaders when they come off turn 4.
They might, and we'll see if Nash peels off here onto pit road. He's going to probably end up leading them down. A great driver getting on and off pit road. Hopefully JR's damage doesn't hurt him too much. We'd love to see it right here coming off 4. Let's see if these PGR drivers go down and start this line of pit stops here.
They thought about it, but they stay on the racetrack. So they call an audible, PGR audibles, and they stay on the racetrack. I'll tell you, man, that would have been good timing because Fitzpatrick and Range have made it back to the front. And again, they're starting to side draft and slow this group down. That would have been really good timing for PGR. Instead, they audible, they stay out. And it actually, you know what, it might help them more because here come a couple more cars to make it 4 rows of double file. This might be perfect timing here for PGR to pit if they do it this time by.
Yeah, I would think they're going to do it this time by. I know they called him an audible there, but I'm thinking they're going to come down here. It looks like Ron Morris. Ooh, a car on the wall. It's Austin Green. He just skipped off the wall there. He's fine. He's going to pick up his teammate Ron Morris. I think this is the perfect time. Now you got 2 on the outside, a single file here on the bottom. If they can get a little bit of pull here, is Nash Brambilla going to peel off? Austin Green's going to cut them off. Is that going to affect their pit stops?
There they come. Now. PGR's coming to pit road. Final pit stop of the season for the PGR group. Well, they all get on pit road. And, oh, boy, this just got real interesting, Mike, because they brought a couple friends with them. Austin Green is on pit road, and so is Devin Ray. They both were able to get off the racetrack, get onto the pit lane, and it is now a 7-car group instead of 5. A huge advantage for the PGR group now, as it'll only be 5 against 2. Now the hand is potentially forced for the leaders. PGR has come to pit road, so too has Austin Green, and so has Devin Ray. They are the first on pit road, and look at this scramble up front, slowing down the lead pack. This is what you want to see if you're one of those 7 cars that was just on pit road, and if you're one of these guys on the bottom of the racetrack, I think you got to pit now. I don't think you can afford to lose the time.
I agree. Austin Green's going to lead him off. Just beats the 4 of Brock Westmoreland, Nash Brambilla. He's going to be 3rd coming off, and it's going to be 78 of J.R. Miller. Looks like they possibly missed Vickery and Davenport, though, so we'll have to see what happens there.
Here come the rest of the leaders. It's Osranoth, Baste, York, Job, Fitzpatrick, Barnes, and Range. They'll be the final 7 trucks to hit pit road, and Oh, man, having some trouble here on the entry. Cole Fitzpatrick trying to locate his pit box. He'll find it, and they will be on pit road. The pit stop cycle will be complete, and we will see where all these guys cycle out. Who's going to cycle out where? I'll tell you who this works out for. If they get off pit road, or excuse me, if they get through the trial fast enough, and that's going to be this group right here, that really, now they have some pull off a lap truck as well, but the other trucks are rolling off pit road. How close will it be when Austin Green gets around to them? They're going to bypass them, but will that second group have any pull here through 1 and 2?
Big push, 3 trucks there. Everyone's probably going to daisy chain back together. Everyone's going to get that draft train that we talk about. KSR with a great stop. Ryan Baste and Trevor Osmanoff, but 3 trucks really dominated that stop on the first stop. You can tell who's been practicing their pit stops, who hasn't, but JR Miller going to get a push on the outside from Tyler Vickery with Devin Ray. They're going to keep rolling the outside 2 by 2 here behind the leaders.
Oh, they got to get more formed. They're not formed up enough.
Yeah, I think that there's too much damage there on the 78. I think that's what's holding him up. He was not able to stay with Brock and Nash up there, so that's kind of setting him back. He's getting cut, or he's getting pushed now by Devin Ray, who obviously lost a lot of spots there. But look for all these single file cars here, or trucks here, to kind of form up here as we head to the backstretch.
Westmoreland jumps high. Base jumps high. Oswanoff jumps high. They'll lead the first run to the outside. Westmoreland powers to the lead on the backstretch. Who's going to go with them? It's Logan York in the 0-1, and that's going to give that second group a run. JR Miller, Devin Ray, Mike Davenport all going to have a nice run. Now KSR clear to the top of the racetrack. It's 2 KSR trucks, Logan York and Heath Job, against 2 PGR trucks, Austin Green and Zach Range. And as the rest of these trucks file in, all of the PGR team trucks, except for Tyler Vickery, are now in the lead group. Man, that was a tight block from Brock Westmoreland. It checks up the top. Man, look at Brock Westmoreland. He's going back and forth through the tri-oval.
He's doing a great job playing Pied Piper like we talk about, but KSR strong up top. They've got 2 very good, very clean trucks on that top side with Logan York, who has a little bit of damage, but once he's tucked up 3rd, 4th in line, he's really a good support car. I think Austin Green is content here being the pusher. He's got a lot of, you can't visibly see his front end damage, but you saw that hit that he took in that last wreck, so he's going to be content with being the pusher here until we get down to the end.
Well, Westmoreland goes back to the lead. He'll go back up to Ryan Baste and Trevor Osmanoff. So Westmoreland maintains the lead. He'll get a nice shove here off turn number 4. And again, these 5 trucks on the top line will control the pace now. Austin Green will get a chance to lead and get a chance to lean out in clean air. Osmanoff peaked 3 wide, but Baste staying in line. They're content for right now. As Osmanoff hops back in line and the outside tries to roll again, but now the bottom's starting to roll, and that's all because of Nash Brambilla. The 23 is the closest to the front that we've seen all race long. The 23, the SummerSlam 499 branding on that truck coming out right there. You saw it as he poked to the inside of Austin Green, but jumps back in line as Westmoreland. Big surge down the backstretch. KSR, man, they're looking 3 wide again. Base trying to get out of line down the backstretch. He'll get even with Westmoreland into 3.
Just trying to force him down the track here. Looked like Austin Green wanted to clear up, but just doesn't know with this damage if he can change these lines. Oh, man, Trevor Osmanoff has to get out of line. Logan York was to his back bumper. And now Brock Westmoreland, that gives him the opportunity to get back up towards that middle line, shuffling Trevor Osmanoff to the back. That separates KSR.
Separates KSR, but Trevin's going to pick up Devin back here, who is trying to make his way to the top to help his teammates out. So if Trevin could get down there with Devin, the number 2, they could try to get back up there to base as Brock Westmoreland leads here out of the turn 2 with Austin Green here on the bottom.
Big push outside line. Here comes Westmoreland. He gets the lead back quickly. As soon as he went all the way back to 4th, he's now back to the race lead, and we'll go back down to Austin Green. Base follows him down. A little bit of contact there, but everybody no harm, no foul yet. Osmanoff is now shuffled to 4th on the outside. York is now the pusher. And, man, Austin Green, I can't help but think that he's in a pretty good spot right here, 2nd on the bottom, because you noted the front-end damage on his truck, but, I mean, it looked pretty good leading the bottom to me for a moment there. So the 87 might just be okay. He's got a good pusher behind him in Nash Brambilla. 18 laps to go here at Talladega. And it is about 11 trucks here that are going to battle for the win in the Little Guy Series. All 11 are on the lead lap. All 11 eligible to win the championship right here at the end of this race. And they are 5 rows of 2 wide Back to Devin Ray, Trevor Osmanoff, Mike Davenport watches on. It's still Westmoreland and Green battling, drag racing. Who can get the advantage down the backstretch?
I mean, J.R. Miller's up there. He had 6 minutes of damage to repair. I think he's down to like a minute 30, but I just can't believe that truck has that much damage, is able to stay up. It kind of shuffled Vickery towards the back, lost the lead draft. He's going to have to get hooked up with Cole Fitzpatrick and Richard Elliott here soon to try and make a push back. But you see these 11 trucks out front here battling 2 wide.
Got 14 trucks on the lead lap with Danny Barnes there in 14th. Brock Westmoreland to the point. Austin Green fighting him for the lead. Looking to see if KSR can get their stuff back together. You got Devin kind of side by side, just stalking the top leaders here. Looking to see if they can get hooked up and get back to their teammate Ryan Bass, the 73.
Feels like a good time to remind everyone that it is a winner-take-all payout. Oh, man, the middle almost opens up right there. I thought Logan York was going to split the middle there and try to bring Heath Job with him. He doesn't. He thinks better of it and stays second in line. But, again, a good time to remind everyone that it is a winner-take-all tonight. Second does not pay anything. Third, fourth, no matter what. If you are second through 19th, you are going home empty-handed tonight. And, again, that's contributing to this racing at the front. First, the only position that matters on the racetrack tonight. It's bound to make this race extremely hairy when it comes down to it. Devin Ray able to jump up in front of Trevor Osmanoff. Ryan Bass may have some help coming to the front here in just a moment. Westmoreland, man, he's doing such a good job at the front controlling the lanes, and he's led all the laps on this run because of it. Move the 4 back to the point in 1 and 2.
Big move, Brock Westmoreland. Going to go back to the top side. He's making that real slow movement up. That's not going to work out. When we're getting down to it, you're going to be able to control lanes early, but coming down to it with 15 to go here, it's going to have to be a lot more quick, decisive moves.
A lot more moves like we see on Tuesday or Thursday, perhaps, that Westmoreland's going to have to start to employ because, again, the racing is going to get more intense. The moves are going to get a little bit more hungry, a little bit more desperate here at the front of the field when we get down to it. Ryan Bass, Logan York, Heath Job, and those 2 KSR trucks, they're not going to settle for second or where they're running right now. They're going to try to make a run at it. The question will be, when do they go? When is go time? For now, content to run 2x2. But again, I don't think that's going to last very long for those guys further back in this draft. They're going to have to get out of line. They're going to have to try to formulate a plan to get to the front, and I imagine they're going to have to do it soon. Still Westmoreland and Green side by side for the lead. Brambilla and Bass giving everything they have to try to keep their line out front. Look at all the fishtailing down the backstretch as these guys on worn tires throughout the course of this race now have to try to battle ill-handling trucks and move their line forward.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it's the calm before the storm. You're seeing a little bit of lane changing, but it's all for temps here. Austin Green's able to keep Brock Westmoreland there, but once that outside really starts to push, Brock goes back up to the top, still managing temps. I mean, he's managing temps, but he's also managing these lines very, very well. The problem with that, though, is this track is 4 lanes wide, and once you start to try and do that with about 5 to go, you're going to see a lot of people start to hang you out. So you're going to look for your teammates whenever you're making these blocks. It's unfortunate for Brock. He doesn't have either one leading both lines.
Yeah, I'm looking at any 11 of these drivers here in the lead pack and win this thing. I think with this winner take all, it's going to open up a big can of worms here in the last couple laps tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you guys are looking forward to it. Well, I'm not sure if the drivers are so much, but I'll tell you what, man, we're in for a special treat here tonight. I'm thinking it's going to be a pretty crazy last couple laps here.
Austin Green, the 87, can he do the double? Can he win the regular season title and the championship title in the same season? I'm not sure anyone's ever done that in this series. He would be the first, and he now goes to the point in front of Brock Westmoreland. He was able to push that line clear on the bottom and now is in control of the race. Bottom side is struggling a little bit because Brambilla and Range are together, but J.R. Miller, like you mentioned earlier, Mike, just seems to be hampered a little bit by damage, and he's not able to get as close to Zach Range as he perhaps would like as they come off turn 2. But, man, credit Zach Range. He is keeping Nash Brambilla in this single-handedly. Green almost gets turned halfway down the backstretch, has to save it, comes back down. Another checkup will allow Nash Brambilla of Team PGR to go to the lead in 3.
I think that front-end damage is messing up that top line just a little bit with Austin Green. And now you're bringing in hungry, impatient, aggressive drivers to the front, that being of Zach Range. He's not going to have any help, though. J.R. Miller's got a ton of damage on that truck. Not going to be able to push Zach Range as much as he would like to,
but he's still pushing him even. He's going to get even coming to the line here, and Ashburn Bill is going to lead at the stripe here. Logan York looking 3 wide. Heath Job going to the top. Here we go, boys. We're getting racy. We're getting down to around 10 to go. Logan York says, I'm done waiting. I'm going to the top, and I'm trying to get to the front.
And Logan York will probably get to the front if he could stay there. Heath Joe's been one of the stronger trucks here in the field. They're getting a run down here, the backstretch. Nash is going to stay middle. He's going to stay right in front of Austin Green. Zach Range on the bottom, not getting much help from JR Miller. Ryan Bass is dropping back. He's going to go pick up his teammates Devin Ray and Trevin Ashford. Look for KSR to link up and try to go all the way around, maybe on even lane 4 if they have to end the race.
I think they're trying to build a run. Look at the 2 in the 89. I think they're starting to try to build that forward run, build that momentum going forward. The top line is stalled. Logan York, Heath Job have gotten as far as Westmoreland, almost some contact there, but they all get through it okay. Now they start to make some more hay. Brad Billa, meanwhile, has led all of this time. He's looking in his mirror saying, well, keep doing that, boys. I like what you're doing from where I'm sitting right now. And now it settles back out to 2 wide. Range on the bottom. He's got help from the damaged truck of J.R. Miller. And granted, to be fair, I think a lot of the trucks in this pack have damage. I think all but a few at this point have some damage from at some point in this race. As a blink for Brambilla, that was almost disaster. Again, they will try the top. Heath Job, Logan York. Does anybody go with them? No. KSR stays put in the middle, and they're going to wait and try to build their own run. Shades of BAR last season, guys. Justin Mills, Raymond Hanneman, Richard Elliott got all the way to the front doing this last year. Can they do it again this year? They're trying to get those trucks linked up. But look at the top side. Here comes Heath Job. He may poke a nose out front at the line with 10 to go.
He will. He gets a big push from Logan York. Only 2 on the top side, though. So you know Logan's temps are going to run out quick. Nash from Billa, he's clear. Austin Green, almost clear to the bottom. Doesn't take it, though. That's going to separate this middle line. If Logan has enough temps, he's going to be able to get a big push. But Brock Westmoreland, huge push in that middle line, too. Austin Green. If I'm Logan York, Heath Job hung me out one time. I'm going to hang him towards the middle this time.
Man, Brock Westmoreland, he's putting on an all-star performance right now in the middle lane. He's not in a spot to win, and they don't have the numbers anymore. Brambilla will provide them the numbers, jumping back up to the middle lane. But now the KSR contingent starting to get a little more racy. Devin Ray, Trevin Osbornoff back to the back bumper of their teammate Ryan Bass, but nowhere to go. They're kind of stuck right now with Logan York, Heath Job up on the outside. They have to try to cycle those 2 trucks backwards and get in front of them if they want to make that run to the outside. They're trying to time it up. You can tell they back off, they time it up. But then there's just nowhere to go. And now in the single digits, I mean, they're going to have to start to get desperate here with 9 to go because just not any kind of gaps opening up as Range and Brambilla continue to battle for the lead up front.
Well, the thing is Range just doesn't have any help with JR. If they had a better truck there on the bottom, not saying he's not a good driver, he just doesn't have the truck that he needs under him to give that push on the bottom side. Right, so you need Range to clear up to really mix up these front guys. Heath Job jumps all the way to the back. I think he's going to try and go with KSR here if they can build up a run, but Bass has to back off, get hooked up to the bumper if he wants to go up 3 wide. But as soon as they make that move, you know Logan York's going to be looking as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're going to have to break up this PGR contingent. I mean, right now they're kind of controlling. You know, JR, like you said, isn't able to push Zach Range all that much. Davenport's actually going to move middle right now. So right now, between Brock Westmoreland and Nash Brambilla, though, Austin's kind of a sitting duck. They're able to kind of control the lanes just a little bit. So I think it's going to maybe be these KSR guys, even with Heath Job maybe, that are going to make the difference here late as they all link together to try to get around the front guys here as we head down the back stretch at Talladega.
I'll tell you guys, I don't think Devin Ray or Trevor Osbornoff has the truck to go 3 wide. I think that's why they're sitting so far back. I don't think they have the truck to be able to beat those last 2 cars in line. You can tell just how much they're struggling. Green back up to Westmoreland. Almost a big moment there. It's going to check up that middle line. Throw Mike Davenport into the mix, by the way. The 55 has gotten up. Logan York going to go down to the inside. That's going to radically change the look of this inside line because now they've got a competent third truck, or at least an undamaged third truck down there on the bottom, and immediately they get shoved forward. They're going to get separated, though, here in 1 as Range, York, and Brambilla got disconnected.
Yeah, there's a big moment. Looked like Logan York was to Zach Range. Zach Range was off the throttle trying to not push through Nash. Went over the comm, said he was sorry he's getting pushed through. So the top side really lining up. Range is going to be out of temps here, but Nash going to move up to the top side. That's only 2 trucks to the bottom. JR drops out of line. Big check up in the middle line. Big moment for Heath Job there.
Huge moment for Heath Job there, almost sideways there, mid-pack. He's going to keep that together. Nash Brambilla is going to be on point here in the middle, getting pushed by Austin Green, coming out of turn number 4. Brock Westmoreland, he's going to be third on top. Zach Range is still not getting any help from the car behind him.
Man, this has got to be the most tortured feeling for Austin Green, because don't look in the rearview mirror. Nash Brambilla out front, and 2 of his teammates now running behind the 87. 87 has to go down and back up. Brock Westmoreland gets hit from behind by Range. Everybody saves it, but now look at how far out front Brambilla is. He's going to get a nice, healthy shot here onto the backstretch by Westmoreland. Davenport leans out. He looks 3 wide, but doesn't have any help in behind him. He'll have to stay in line. But now, if you're Austin Green, you are surrounded by Team PGR. All of a sudden, 3 of them have found their way to the front. It's Westmoreland, it's Brambilla, and it is Davenport. And those front 2 are clear here in 3 and 4, coming to 5 laps to go when they get back to the line.
Yeah, they cut their nose clean. I would look for Brock Westmoreland to come up. He does not. He's going to stay committed to Nash Brambilla here. You have 4 strong trucks on the bottom, but Logan York's going to really try to force his way to that middle. It's not open. I mean, he is bullying his way for Mike Davenport. I mean, he just needs to pick a lane here. He's not clear to that middle line, trying to force his way up.
Davenport's giving him a little bit too much room. He should probably pinch him down so he doesn't have any chance of forcing him up there. Nash Brambilla is going to stay bottom, as is Brock Westmoreland. Nash is going to go to the middle. He's going to block Austin Green.
Oh, man, it's going to check up that middle line big time, but everybody gets through it. Again, I'd look back at KSR, but I don't know how much of a chance they have. I don't know how much truck they have underneath them to push Ryan Bass. I mean, that'd be the first guy I'd expect to try to make a bonsai move, but again, I don't know how much truck they have. Westmoreland back to the lead. He might look in front of his teammate. Nope, Range beats him to the punch. Zach Range in the 0-4-3. He wants to go to victory lane and win this championship for himself. 4 laps to go at the line, but again, I mean, where do you expect this move to come from? I think Austin Green or Ryan Bass going to be the first one to jump out. This race is far from over with 4 laps to go.
This is the truck that's going to be out front to cause something here. He's going to block for his life, Zach Range. Anytime he is clear, be it a millimeter or be it a mile, he's going to be up and try and block. But big push on the outside from Austin Green. Brock Westmoreland could get hooked up Zach Range like he wanted to. Now they're really going to stack up in the bottom, but a huge push coming from Brock. Watch for Zach to jump to the top here.
I mean, this is nuts. This is wild. A bunch of lead changes, a ton of hard pushes, and we're still over 3 laps from the scheduled distance and over 2 laps from even coming to the white flag. Westmoreland Range get disconnected. Can they get back together? No, they're going to go 3 wide. Now Logan York has his opening, but he's got no help. He's in the sucker hole. Now Heath Job goes with him, and all of a sudden the front of the field gets all kinds of disorganized. Austin Green goes to the bottom. Brambilla will jump to the help of his teammate. Bass will get in the back of Davenport. Man, they're scrambling all over the place. 3 to go, and all of a sudden 3 wide, several trucks deep.
You can see Davenport checking up for his teammate. Logan York offset with Mike Davenport. Almost a big moment. Zach Range still somehow in this. I don't understand how the bottom line got so separated. He got buried and then put right back to the front. I mean, a bunch of lead changes, a bunch of shuffling up here with 3 coming to 2 to go. Big push from the outside from PGR. Mike Davenport getting driven through by Nash Brambilla. Logan's pretty upset with Davenport. He thought he had a clear to the middle. Wasn't actually clear. Tried to force Davenport up, but he's going to be aggressive here. I think Heath Job will go with him too.
Yeah, Logan York's going to be very aggressive. There he goes to the bottom. He's going to get off the back bumper of Mike Davenport. He's going to follow Zach Range here into the tribal. Austin Green's going to get turned.
Oh, no!
Zach Range. Austin Green off pace.
Austin Green gets turned, and the caution flag comes out as Green spins to the apron. It's a yellow flag. Green was not off the racetrack, but the yellow flag comes out regardless and will send us into overtime here in the Little Guys Series Championship race. Austin Green turned off the bumper of Zach Range in the 043. We'll go back and take a look at what happened here in the tri-oval. An offset push sends Austin Green sliding sideways into the grass here on the front stretch. You'll see it right here. Does Logan York perhaps push the 043 through him? Yep, certainly appears that way to me. York pushes third in line, gets the 043 offset, and around goes Austin Green. He goes for a slide, and oh man, I mean it's a tough call. I get that, but Green, you'll watch the 87 here. I mean, he stays off the racing surface until guys have gotten by him, and I just don't think there's any trucks coming at him here at full speed. And he never really comes back onto the racing surface. I mean, a huge break for him, but a tough break for the leaders because, I mean, when you look back at it, he never really got into the racing surface when he was sideways.
Unfortunate. Range comes over the radio, says that Logan was pushing through him, but I mean, Logan gets to him in the beginning of the tribal, and then after that, I mean, Range just doesn't get off of
Doesn't get off of Austin, gets him a little offset, and turns him right around.
I'll look at it again here from the drone cam in the tri-oval. Right there, you see Range get offset. And he's going to send Austin Green for a slide through the grass. Austin Green locks it down. Now, here's the question. Does he hit pit road? Yep, he's going to get that penalty right there as he skirts inside the green cone. But slides to a stop just past the start-finish line and comes to, well, actually never comes to rest. Actually drives this truck out of the slide and gets it back going, we assume. We'll take one more look at it as they came through the tri-oval. You'll see it right here. Watch Range in the 0.43 second in line, and York 0.1 third in line. You're going to see the offset push there. And now you watch Range get in the back of Green right here. And the chain reaction sends the Embry-Riddle F-150 for a slide through the grass and onto the apron of the racetrack. Now again, an incredibly lucky break that he got a caution flag right there. I personally did not think it was going to be one. Whether it should have been is a different discussion, but I did not think it was going to be. And Austin Green gets awfully lucky. He's still going to be in this race.
I think Mark Vondell's going to be getting his laps back here due to connections. That's another truck, throw him into the mix. Cole Fitzpatrick was able to stay on the lead lap. He'll be back in the race too.
Yeah, Cole Fitzpatrick, J.R. Miller are going to stay in the race. Going to probably get some more damage fixed here as well. And so we will reset it. And what better way to end this season? As there goes Vondell getting his lap back around the pace truck. What better way to end a season that has been as crazy as this than a green-white checkered finish here at Talladega. We have 3 available to us tonight if we should need them. And when we talked about it earlier, I imagine we might need them considering what we're now going to see. I mean, this is like the green-white checkered restarts on NASCAR Championship weekend where only one guy wins a championship and you're going all out for it. And now, I mean, such an interesting restart coming up with all the dynamics and all the fun racing we just had at the front of the field.
Yep, and this is going to be a crazy last 2 laps here. You're bringing in 2 really good trucks into the mix, really aggressive trucks into the mix. Now you're going to see one truck that's been leading a lot of this race, and Austin Green trying to come back to the front. So it's going to be a crazy restart for sure.
Yeah, it really is. You got 2 PGR drivers here on the bottom, but you have Zach Range and Logan York on the top for as aggressive as they have been. And then right behind those 4, side by side, is going to be Hyper Motorsports teammates Heath Job, Danny Barnes. I mean, I have no clue how this one's going to end. I couldn't even draw it up if you asked me to.
I'll tell you the 2 trucks to watch here for 3 wide, and that's going to be Ryan Baste in 8th and Austin Green in 10th. They're going to be the first 2 trucks that I imagine would make a look at the outside. Now, the problem is who's going to go with him, because I don't think Devin Ray has enough truck underneath him to be able to make that move and be that last truck in line, so they're going to need somebody else to jump out. I mean, where do you look from there? Does Logan York potentially take a look here at the front? Does he try to go for it himself? Does one of those guys behind them, does Trevor Osbornoth get up? Does Brock Westmoreland get up? Does Cole Fitzpatrick get up? Does J.R. Miller, does he have all that damage fixed? So much is going to happen in the next 2 laps. And again, a season has been filled with so much chaos, so many twists and turns, from pit strategy to racing in the dark to 2 cars on the lead lap to a bunch of cautions and a bunch of wrecks and a chaotic races and all that's happened this season. What else would it come down to except overtime? And we're going to attempt it right here. 3rd caution of the night. We are past the scheduled distance. We will go into green-white checkered attempt number 1. Nash Brambilla, Zach Range on row 1. Mike Davenport and Logan York on row 2. It's Hyper on row 3. Heath Job, Danny Barnes. Brock Westerland, Ryan Baste on row 4. Osborne and Austin Green on row 5. The leader gets to the white flag. This race is official. Otherwise, we're going to try this one again, re-rack, re-stack, and go for the next 3 attempts. Nash Brambilla into the restart zone for potentially the final time this season. Can he cash in a championship? Will somebody else take it from him? Green flag is back in the air. Green-white checkered attempt number 1, and the bottom gets rolling. PGR, an incredible restart on the bottom for Brambilla and Davenport.
Oh, Davenport's going to try and clear up. Not going to get it, though. If I'm Nash, I'm going at the opportunity that I see the run coming back, but stay stuck to the bottom unless your teammate can get clear. He won't. 3 on the bottom, 2 on the top. Nash with a big move. There they go. 3 wide. You knew that was coming. Zach Range. Huge move with Logan York. Hangs out Nash Brambilla, but Nash is going to get the help of his teammate, possibly with KSR coming in. Oh, Nash Brambilla almost turns Heat Job.
Watch Brock Westmoreland. Look at Westmoreland through the middle. The 4 car. Where did he come from? Shot out of the cannon. Into the middle. He's third. Now the KSR trucks there lined up against the safer barrier. They've timed this out. KSR has waited until the last moment, and now all of a sudden they have a look at it. The 89, the 73, and the 2. They've got help coming behind them as well. The scramble begins. White flag. 1 lap to go.
1 lap to go. A little bit of offset, 3 wide behind. But Logan York doing a great job pushing Zach Range. One of the best pushers. He's going to have the temps for it. But is Heath Job going to push Mike Davenport clear? He almost does. I mean, he's right there. Isn't going to get it, though. But here comes KSR on the outside. 3 wide going into turn 3 on the final lap. KSR leads into turn 3. Who's going to get to the checker flag first?
Has KSR picked the right moment? They've got to push. They've got to help, but they get a little bit offset. Osborne's going to have to go somewhere here. He's going to have to pick the place to go. Now Davenport leads again. He's going to have to block all 3 lanes. Job goes up. Job gets blocked. Now Davenport going to have to come back down. He's going to have to block the rest of the lanes. They wreck out back. Never mind. Can Davenport block his way to a championship through the tri-oval drag race to the finish? Mike Davenport wins it for Team PGR. And if that
a block, oh my gosh!
If that is not a clinic on how to run a last lap at a super speedway, I don't know what is. Mike Davenport executed that to perfection to win this race. I mean, some of the most perfect last lap execution I have ever seen, blocking 3, 4 lanes at times, and he gets the job done. He goes from a lap down and damaged to Little Guys Series winner and champion. First trip to victory lane for Mike Davenport. And he is your Season 4 Little Guys Series champion with an incredible, clinical last lap performance. And
I still at a loss for words. Great last lap out of turn 4. I mean, Zach Range found the hole too as soon as Davenport put the block on Job, forced him up the track half a lane. Range and York took advantage of it, and I mean, great last lap by Davenport there.
And I'll tell you, as Davenport rightfully celebrates here, he's very much earned this burnout here on the front stretch at the start-finish line. I imagine we're going to get a full team burnout. We've got at least one other truck burning it down. I'm trying to get a picture where we can see all of them, but nonetheless, Davenport has earned these victory donuts here on the front stretch. I'll tell you this, if I'm those KSR trucks, I mean, the frustration has got to be evident for those 3, because I thought they had the run to get there and they got offset. We'll go back and look at it in a minute. But man, I thought they had the run to win the race. I thought they had just timed it perfect, but they get offset a little bit. They get separated, and Davenport, I mean, we'll go back and look at a replay, because I'm a loss for words too. I've never seen this work for somebody on the last lap. We're going to take it all the way back to the end of the backstretch, because that's where this kind of starts for Mike Davenport. So he's leading the bottom. He's got Heath Joe behind him. And we're going to try to take you through it here, but I mean, it's almost impossible to try to get every angle. So going into 3, the KSR trucks, I mean, they had enough of a run to clear. Osbornoth, look, I get it. You don't want to drop down and leave your teammates hanging, but right there, it's Fitzpatrick. I believe Fitzpatrick, yep, he does. He pushes through Devin Ray and gets him all out of shape. They go 4 wide off of 4, and then by that time they're 2 out of sorts. And now watch this clinic off turn 4 by Mike Davenport. There's the first move. He blocks this. Job goes up. Clean block here by Davenport. Maybe a little bit of contact, but we saw Logan York do that on Tuesday. No harm, no foul. Job comes back down. He's going to have to block it a second time. And now watch as the bottom. Here comes Danny Barnes. He's got a rear deck lid full of Austin Green. Davenport blocks the first run from range. He's going to get a hit from range right here. He actually blocks 2 trucks at once. Gets sideways. They're all piling up behind him. Look at that. Look at how sideways he is through the tri-oval. He blocked both of those trucks. Now range gets a run back to the top. Davenport gets back up there to block that as well, and has just enough, and I mean just enough juice to make it back to the start-finish line. That is incredible work from Mike Davenport in the 55, and there is your margin of victory. A scramble, a barn burner of a finish. I mean, Baker, we can talk about this for hours. I've never seen that work for somebody blocking 3 lanes on the last lap.
It was really good, well-timed moves with the truck, and he was able to hang on to it. Job made the winning move for sure. I thought he was going to win the race. But Davenport went upstairs, gave him a little block, knew that it was a winner-take-all, and you knew that's what was going to happen on the last lap. Glad it didn't turn him, and glad it was still a clean finish, minus a couple more that got pushed towards the back there.
Well, we're going to go through your finishing results and then get into some post-race interviews here at Talladega in this championship race, as Mike Davenport wins it for Team PGR and becomes the second Team PGR driver to win a Little Guys Series championship. Danny Barnes comes home second, and Zach Range comes home in third. Austin Green ran a great race, but comes up short. He finishes fourth. Nash Brambilla in fifth. Trevor Osborne sixth. Logan York seventh. Heath Job eighth. J.R. Miller in ninth. And Devin Ray rounds out the top 10.
And in 11th, got Brian Bass with Cole Fitzpatrick in 12th, Tyler Vickery in 13th, Mark Bondell in 14th, 15th, Brock Westmoreland, 16th, Ron Morris Jr. had some bad luck. I mean, off the start of the race and never could recover. Richard Elliott in 17th, David Sheets in 18th, and rounding out your 19-car field, Dustin Carruthers.
So we are going to go grab your top 3 for some interviews. Stick with us here on PGR eSports. We'll be right back to interview the top 3 and get into this post-race show. Stay with us. Back live at Talladega Super Speedway. We'll start with our post-race interviews and our post-race show. And we will start with the man who finished in third position tonight after a very hard-fought race, and it's Zach Range in the 043. Zach, it's Dawson and Mike in the booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir, I do. My power literally just went out. I had to switch over to my phone to do the interview. Luckily, it didn't go out during the race.
I was just going to say, almost perfect timing. You get to the checkered flag and the power goes out. So
it's going on and off about 3 times now. It's pretty insane.
Well, it holds out for you, luckily. Look, this was a chaotic race. It had a little bit of everything. So, kind of take me through your game plan. We saw you guys be a little bit more aggressive towards the front of the field. Was that kind of the game plan? Did you guys feel that out in the early parts of the race? What went into being up front, being so aggressive and leading so many laps?
Yeah, that was the main goal because it was a smaller field. And usually with the smaller fields, it seems to run out, less yellows, more green flag pit stops. So you kind of want to be up there, in the least top sticks. So when other people pit and you can, dive down there with them and all that. When Fitz and Logan got wrecked, those were my teammates. So I was up there by myself for a little while. And it was kind of difficult because I was surrounded by the PGR teammates.
I mean,
Well,
Danny.
nonetheless, I mean, you end up coming home P3. Now, obviously, that last lap sequence, obviously, you hoped it would go a little bit different. Take us through it. Is there anything different you could have done to try to get to the win right there?
Honestly, I'm honestly not too sure. I had a little bit of permanent damage, so my truck wasn't.
We might have lost copy here with Zach Range. We'll give him a second to maybe jump back in here. Wonder if we lost him here for a minute. We'll see. Zach Range, it's the boys in the booth. You still got us? I don't think he's got us right now, unfortunately.
Wait, hello? You still there?
There he is. Now he's back.
Yeah,
Continue.
I don't know what happened.
No worries.
When did
Continue.
it cut off?
I'm not. I can't really remember. But just go back. Take us through that last sequence coming off 4 and what was going through your head.
Oh, what was going through my head was, so, I had Logan behind me, and I was like, okay, so, sorry, 1 second. I'm on an interview, Mom. Okay. Anyway, so, we were gonna do that, and I saw that there was 2 teammates on the bottom, and they were trying to push up to block us both, and we were not gonna let that happen. And when we didn't let that happen, that's what led us to where we were, and we got through all the diciness, all the little door bangs. That was a great finish. It was a great race.
Well, you end up finishing 3rd. Obviously, not the result I'm sure you wanted in this championship race, but nonetheless, put on a strong showing and really looked good, running aggressive at the front and led a lot of laps. So, got to be pretty proud of the way you ran tonight. Before we let you go and enjoy it a little bit and kind of take a rest after a really long race, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yes, I'd like to thank my dad and my mom, always downstairs, for supporting me. And I'd like to thank Garrett Maines for coaching me and teaching me. It has definitely changed my game.
Well, you certainly put on a heck of a show tonight. Congrats on the 3rd place finish, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, thank you very much. Y'all have a wonderful night.
Zach Range, the 043, the man who finished in 3rd position tonight. We'll move now to the man on the second step of the podium, the man who I thought had the run to win the race on the bottom, and that is the 7 of Danny Barnes for Hyper Motorsports. Danny, it's the boys in the booth. You get a copy.
Yes, sir. How you all?
Well, I'm doing well. A chaotic last lap turn of events there as we kind of saw you go from about 6th to 2nd there in the travel. You see daylight. What was going through your head there coming off turn number 4?
Man, after all the diversity I had in this thing, I was almost a lap down. I was a lap down. I had some damage with me and Zach got into it there when I thought he was pitting and all that. And I just couldn't believe I was there, to be honest with you. I was just happy to be there.
Well, I mean, it turns out well for you. You obviously finished 2nd. A long race, obviously a lot more went into it. You said you faced some adversity earlier in the race. How did you battle back from that adversity and get back to a 2nd place finish?
Well, actually, on that last pit stop, I didn't mean to take as much fuel as I did, which what saved me. I didn't need any fuel, which allowed me to move up to 6th on the last restart there. So that was the game changers. I didn't need any fuel because it overfilled me on my last stop. So, which threw me behind, and it would have been for the yellow, I'd have finished like 12th. But after all that happened, I was able to get up there and where I had a shot.
Well, you did have had a great look at that. You end up finishing 2nd. So before we let you go, kind of rest, relax, recover from this long race. Is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
I just like to thank John Ward for putting this thing on, man. It's a blast. It's a good time. Thank him for everything he's helped me with as far as qualifying and just racing in general and how to do some of this stuff. And I'm still learning. Heck, I'm barely over a year into this and just still trying to figure it all out. And thank you guys for putting on a hell of a broadcast every night we do this.
Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate you talking to us for a second. Congrats on that 2nd place finish. Go relax, go recover from this long race, and we will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Dawson.
Danny Barnes, the man who finishes in 2nd tonight. And that leads us to the man who, look, when it's winner take all, this is the man who took all the 55 of Mike Davenport for Team PGR, and Michael Triscaro stands by with our winner.
Mike Davenport, the 55 Team PGR driver. You are the man of the hour from Denver, Colorado. Brother, you are an OG Team PGR through and through. It is a freaking honor, man, to do this interview with you. You are super deserving of not only a race win, but a champion of the Dega Pros Little Guys series. Man, can you just walk us through the last lap, coming into turn 3, middle of turn 3, coming out of 4, all the way to the checkered? That was something that I have never seen a driver be able to pull off in any money races. Man, you did it. You got to the finish line first. Walk us through it.
Man, I tell you what, if you would have talked to me first in this interview, I probably wouldn't have been able to breathe, you know. That was pretty wild. You know, I think coming on that final lap there, I felt really good about the bottom. I thought the middle was maybe gonna be able to pull out, and then they kind of lost a little bit of momentum, and I just decided to stay down, kind of tucked to that bottom line, and Heath Job was giving me a pretty good push there, and I appreciate that. And then, you know, I really thought after that point that Trevor up on the high line coming out of 3 was going to be able to clear us and pull down, and I was kind of waiting to see if he was going to go to the middle or if he was going to come down to the bottom. And then I think there was a little bit of they got a little bit disorganized, a little bit offset push up there, and they kind of fell apart. And like I said, and then stayed on the bottom. And then Heath, he he pulled out, and I almost didn't even think. He kind of went to go up to the middle line, and I went up there immediately just to block him. And I think that is about as close as you can come to making that block and not wrecking, you know, myself and him. And I think he was really on top of it. It was super tight, and honestly, just being able to go back and forth and pull off those blocks, and be in that position was great, man. That's probably the funnest lap that I've probably ever had in iRacing.
I got to look at it again. You know, Team KSR kind of got split up there. It was almost 4 wide there, actually, for a second. Coming out of turn 4, it looked like Range was going to be, you know, getting pushed by Logan maybe there, and Heath comes up. Man, you made the block on Heath. A big shout out probably to Heath, you know, for not
Definitely.
turning you, and
Yeah.
you know, very clean racer. You know, did what he did to stay off you, but you came back down, you blocked the middle, you came all the way down, you blocked Danny Barnes, you came back to the middle, blocked Zach Range, you dragged race down to the line with Danny Barnes there. What could we say about, you know, how much you've progressed and how much, you know, just running with, you know, Nash Brambillo, J.R. Miller, Brock Westmoreland, Tyler Vickery, in this series especially? How has that, like, made your group, Team PGR, you know, that much better to not only win in these races, but also getting wins in other money races and other series?
I tell you what, I mean, like you said, you know, the OG PGR, I mean, I remember when it started out with just me and you, and we were running for a while and, you know, learning together. And obviously, you know, you've done a lot, you know, with the way that PGR has grown, and the accomplishments that you've gotten, and you know, bringing in these guys that's not just the skill they have, but the character they have, and the way that we help each other out, and you know, we hold each other up, and you know, do everything we can for each other. I think that goes a long way. And then being in a series like this, where it really showcases some of the guys that are, you know, trying to make a name for themselves, and up and comers, and you know, guys that have been around for a while and they haven't won a lot of big things and stuff like that. I think there's a different kind of respect with the guys that run in this series. And you know, it's bittersweet. As bad as I wanted to win this, you know, I'll be watching these guys run it next season, and to a point that kind of sucks, but it's actually, you know, it's pretty cool, you know, to be a winner of the little guys championship, man, and I wouldn't take it back.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. You know, you're obviously going to be graduating from this series after tonight. But I'll tell you what, we've had a lot of bad luck in the past. I've seen it. And, you know, wins come at a premium here in money racing. But you were able to get it done tonight when it counted most. You made all the right moves, Mike. You know, awesome to be able to call the race there at the end. Just watching you cross that finish line first, man, you did a great job. Kudos to you, man. You deserve it. Anyone you want to thank tonight before you head off? And you, the Rocky Mountains, man? I know you love those Rocky Mountains. You got to go camp and have a cold beer, buddy.
Oh, dude, yeah, we were just talking about getting the camper ready. We were getting the quads ready. We're going to hit the mountains. It's getting, the weather is nice. We're going to rock and roll. After this win tonight, we're going to head to Waffle House.
Oh,
You know,
baby.
Yeah, we're going to cause a ruckus. And then, you know, I want to thank, obviously, John Ward for throwing on this series. It's been fantastic the whole time. I want to thank the competitors that are in there, that have, you know, just really made some great racing. I want to thank PGR, my PGR teammates. You know, we had a plan for tonight. You know, we thought we knew who we wanted to push to the win, but really we just wanted one of us to win, and I'm glad that you know, one of us got it, no matter who it was. You know, I'm more than happy to take the victory. But yeah, you know, it's been a great time, and I appreciate the broadcast and everything you guys do for us.
Oh, we certainly appreciate it, bud. Don't forget, you know, you have Shotgun Willie's out there in Denver. You know, if you head over there, I'll give the place a call. Drinks are on me. Not sure if you've been there before, but it's a great place.
Put in a word for me. I might need one. They might not like me last time. Yeah.
All right, boss. Well, enjoy tonight. Enjoy a cold beer. We appreciate talking to you, man, and we'll see you on the racetrack soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mike Davenport, your Season 4 Little Guy Series champion. Mike, imagine you're a very proud team owner right there. You heard it right there in the interview, the amount of work that Davenport has done. And, I mean, when you look back, this is going to be a last lap I watch back a lot, because I have been doing this a very long time. I'll be very candid. I've done this for a very long time. I've run these trucks for a very long time, and I've run these super speedways for a long time. I have never, in my many years of doing this, seen somebody block that many lanes that well for that long and it all work and them cross the finish line first. Mike Davenport, I was at a loss for words. Baker was at a loss for words. We didn't know what to say because we've never seen it. Mike Davenport gives us something else we've never seen in this series and wins in the biggest moment of the season. And he is a champion, and man, you know, for all the work he did, he got himself back in position. At one point was a lap down in this race. Was at one point the first truck a lap down, and by the time he comes back around, he gets his lap back halfway through the race, races his way back up, gets in a good spot, and ends up in the right spot to win the race. This race was never over. From the second it started, it was never over for anyone. And Mike, I mean, we just watched a barn burner of a championship race.
We really did, man, and it's been a barn burn of a lot of races in this series. Like Mike said, one of the best series out there. You know, we take a lot of the top guns out of the mix, a lot of the big teams, and you just see a little bit better racing. And I think that's what, you know, contributes to a great product for the race drivers, for the broadcasters, for all the viewers on the network, just to see these races. And a big shout out, if John Ward is watching, big shout out to John. I know Heath has a lot of involvement in these for Dega Pros, putting these races on. We couldn't do any of this without those guys, so definitely want to give a big shout out to those guys here at the end of the season. You know, Heath had a great shot at the win tonight. Very respectful driver. Hope Mike could send him a drink as well tonight for you know, obviously not hooking him there. But yeah, awesome series, awesome last race, great last lap, very deserving winner, and can't wait to you know, for next season already.
I cannot wait either. I mean, incredible ending to what was an incredible season. I mean, the competition level in this series just continues to get better and better and better. And tonight, I mean, just the best, the latest in these series of really incredible edge of your seat races. And I mean, what better way to end off this season with a chaotic, just twists and turns race here at Talladega. Mike Davenport comes away with the championship. What a way, by the way, to start NASCAR's Talladega race week. Then with that kind of barn burner race going into some racing at Talladega over the next several days, as well as also the NASCAR weekend this weekend coming up. Tomorrow night here on PGR eSports, come back Tuesday Night Thunder, the Xfinity Series cars at Talladega. We'll have all that action for you here on PGR eSports. Myself and Austin Green most likely tomorrow night. We'll be back on the call for you there. Thursday night, it'll be Baker and Austin taking you through next gens at Talladega. I'm so mad I'm going to be out of town. Well, not really, but I am mad I'm going to have to miss that one. That's going to be a lot of fun. I love the next gen race car, and it gets a run this week to, again, coincide with the NASCAR weekend in Talladega this weekend. Friday night will be the first edition of the PGR Super Speedway Series on Fridays. Come out, Austin Baker, or at least Austin Green, should be on the call for you there as well. And this series is done for a little bit. Series is gonna take a break. We're gonna be back, I imagine, in several weeks once the rule changes get hammered out and we can get a schedule put back together, and we'll be back at it for season 5 of the Little Guys series. So Tuesday Night Thunder, Thursday Night Intimidator Super Speedway series, and the Friday night series will carry you over until then. Mike Davenport is your season 4 Little Guys series champion. He joins the ranks as the reigning king of the Little Guys. For my broadcast partners, Matthew Baker and Michael Triscaro, this entire season, thank you so much. We're so grateful for you guys all coming out and watching, spending a lot of time on your Monday nights with us, and sometimes into the Tuesday morning range. We appreciate it so much here on PGR eSports. It's been a lot of fun. Grateful to get to call some of these races. Grateful to get to call the one tonight. Come back tomorrow for Tuesday Night Thunder and rejoin us then for some more incredible racing action. Until then, for Baker and Mike, I'm Dawson Wise. You've been watching PGR eSports.